Well, I don't know if you knew it or maybe you suspected it, but now you've got proof of it. There is a black female doctor loneliness epidemic going on out there. What? Case in point, there is this post from Instagram here, and it's only from a few days ago. There's a post from Instagram here from this fella, Dr. Flipper. And what he did was he put up a post, as you can see here, that said, "Single ladies in healthcare, drop a photo of yourself in the comments. Black men in medicine, go find your queen." So he did that. He doesn't have a lot of followers like that. I mean, he's got 12,000, which I guess on Instagram is, respectable. That's fine. It's not like he has a million followers or hundreds of thousands. But boy, oh boy, for a guy with 12,000 followers, take a look at the response that he received on that. So he said that, and then next thing you know, man. I mean, when you just got one after another. This one, age 36, Dallas, nurse practitioner, no kids but wants children, 36 years old. Pharmacist, 31 years old, Tampa, no kids, wants kids. 32 years old, RN, no kids, upstate New York, Jamaican. A lot of that going to be going on, so keep your eyes and ears peeled. This one right here, RN, 33, Marietta, Georgia. I guess she's looking for somebody 6 feet tall. Unless they're saying that that's their height. So if she is 6 feet tall, I'm like, okay, fellas. NICU registered nurse, Dallas, Texas, 36, no kids but wants kids, 5'6", brown eyes, Scorpio. If it matters, it doesn't. 40 years old, RN, Chicago, 5'6", Leo, making the most of life's simple moments. Okay, hope you have enough free time to do that. And this chick here didn't say anything. Come and talk to me directly, slide in my DMs. Okay, closed mouths don't get fed. Maryland, 34, 2 kids, divorced. I volunteer healthcare services to the Navy here and there. Okay. 32, no kids, a registered nurse, business owner in Houston, Texas. I don't drink or smoke. Abstinent until marriage. She didn't say that she's a virgin. Must have a relationship with God, so make of that what you will. 36 years old, travel nurse. What? Damn! Bama born and raised, no kids, love to travel. Physical therapist, 27, 5'4", Dallas, Texas, no kids. VA currently, was it Virginia currently, Maryland raised, psychiatric nursing, MD candidate, 25 years old, no kids. Okay. S Buffalo. At first I thought it says she Buffalo. It says S Buffalo. My fellow healthcare sisters are gorgeous. Gone on with y'all bad selves. 43, BSN, RN, NCSN, NCVA. No kids, nursing, systemic resolutions for blah, blah, blah. All right. 28 years old, no kids, registered nurse who doesn't cheat like the stereotype. Ma'am, dry snitching on yourself. Nobody accused you, but if you're defending yourself against something that people did not accuse you of, red flags. I'm going to have to get a siren or an alarm sound drop. A warning siren sound drop. I'm going to have to get one of those. Age 40, 5'2", 1 kid, family and psychiatric nurse practitioner, New Orleans, never married. Okay. Is this male or female? Okay, female looks like. Senior registered nurse, 32, 5'5", UKRN, USRN, no kids, want only one, London, Essex. So, to my fellas over there in the UK, if you want a chick who wants just one child, because everyone loves to raise an only child, she's 32, and of course, she doesn't want to be out of the workforce for very long. So, line up, fellas in the UK. Line up. This chick here is composed of anger and other various issues. So, all right. This one here is posting her sister. Auntie, chill! 32, internal medicine physician located in Miami, Florida. What? All right. Since everyone is posting the no kids, I guess us single moms in medicine don't apply. You can apply for your side chick position. I mean, yeah. Here's another one, Smooth Secrets. Okay, the bill has come due. My goodness, right? I'm over here like, dang, guess I'm disqualified. Damn right. There might be some sucker ass simp out there somewhere and whatnot, but that's what you'll be looking for. Is the prime candidates no. So yes, you see, pick up a clue. Yeah, the stepdaddy era. Yeah, the desperate stepdaddy era. Nah. Yeah, we ain't really feeling that. Fill out your side chick position and just get in where you fit in. Besides, you're not wife material like that. So yes, the bill has come due. So, and you didn't mind it before. How you going to try to strong arm for it now? If you didn't mind it before, let's just have a straight up conversation about you're going to have to just ride this on out. Let's just ride this on out. Baby, you and your are a package deal. Okay. You're my favorite. This must be baby daddy number 1. Yeah. I was thinking the same thing. I went through pharmacy school and residency with 3 children and going through divorce. Then you better go back and get that nigga. Then you better go back and get him. Yeah, all these chicks who figured that a career would take the place of a man, you can just go ahead and spit all over him and don't worry, my job will hold it together. And then they listen to the old fat hoes from previous generation. Don't worry, there's plenty of men, won't you, with them kids? Yeah, they're just not doctors, lawyers, men who have a future. Now, a fellow who doesn't have a future, yeah. The burnt out little dude who doesn't have a future one way or the other. The pension pimps, them guys right there. Who's that? That 64-year-old dating the 24-year-old? What? Yeah, okay. Yeah. It'd be some little weird bug-eyed dude like that, but as far as the prime real estate, no, these are fellas you gotta put a bag over their heads and everything's real weird and awkward. So that's available. But no, the ones that you all fantasize about being with, no. Then there's this clown here. Like I said, these fellas here, I mean, they know what they're doing. Dude, you know what you're doing. Yes, you do apply. And you a plus because you already crossed the baby stage to young man. I'm proud of you myself. Who cares what everyone else thinks? We good. So these are either they baby daddies or fellas who are just like, okay, single moms for the layup. So we see you, bum ass nigga. We see you. It's the same old game. And they'll probably fall for it this time around too, by the way. Because remember, the easiest person to get over on is a jackass who thinks they know everything. And these are a bunch of know-it-alls. A bunch of know-it-alls. So, yeah. But, yeah, get in where you got the name Pearly Boy Mom. Okay, well, since your identity is around being a mom, not a wife, I don't know why you're complaining. So, this fella over here, yeah, go ahead and talk to him. He's available. He's available. Somebody's granddaddy out there, somebody's drunk uncle, he'll work. All right, let's see who else is reading this late. Okay, thanks for saying you're late. 31, 5'6", no kids, want kids eventually, travel nurse. Auntie, chill! ER nurse, currently working in California, but home base is Houston. Okay, go fight with her over custody in California. Just in case my future man is on this post, I'm a cardiac nurse in school for my FMP. I am 31 years old and Nigerian. She didn't say anything about no kids. And she wants you to know that she's Nigerian, which means her family is all in the business. So good luck with that one, fellas. I'm loving all the black excellence. Sit your ass down. All right. 33, 5'3", LNC, didn't say a word about kids, account on private. So fellas, go ahead and walk into that single mother buzzsaw if you wish to. That's perfectly fine. By the way, in the chat room, yeah, good question, troll baby. How much do they weigh? How much do they weigh? That's the one question that wasn't being answered, because there's some of them who qualify in that regard. Then there's some who, there's a lot going on. So, but yeah, you are quite right. They said everything except what their weight is. So some of them might qualify on that regard, but then there's a bunch of others who, awesome Kong. All right. 34, no kids, nuclear pharmacist, Cleveland, Ohio. So, okay, nuclear pharmacist, Cleveland, Ohio. mommy, that says MOMI, so she didn't say anything about, she says no kids, but I'm like, okay, what is MOMI? MOMI? All right, whatever. Acute care physical therapist, 31, 5 feet tall, no kids, Alabama. 25, no kids, Nigeria. Are you based in Nigeria or are you Nigerian in the U.S. cosplaying? Okay, whatever. Registered nurse and midwife, 5'7". Metamorph Chris is 41, 5'7", one child, registered nurse, 16 years, reside in Long Island. No long distance, so here she comes with her demands because she knows her value. This one here says, not in healthcare though. Okay, failure to read is what that says.
You smoke crack, don't you?
Failure to follow directions and read. It says, single ladies in healthcare. You're not in healthcare. Sit your ass down. MPH LPN Health Administration, 0 kids, 5'7", New York and Florida. Didn't say her age. Didn't say her age. So yeah, don't worry about it. When you start doing that right there, you're not saying your age, baby. What you think you hiding? You think you're going to sneak up on dudes with that? RN, age 31, height 5'1", location Texas, no kids. By the way, notice all these private accounts. That should be a super gigantic red flag to you. A bunch of private accounts lurking on the internet. So yeah, this is never a good sign when you have a bunch of private accounts. And then when somebody says, hey ladies, looking for a man, and all these private accounts come popping up on somebody's post. If I was a fellow with somebody like this, I just got to tell you, hey ladies, if this was your man and his account was private, but then he pops up on folks' posts about, hey, fellas in medicine looking for a chick. So yeah, all these private accounts, you can just go down the line, whole bunch of private accounts through here. And it's just like, okay, all right. So yeah, that's a real interesting thing there. All these accounts are private, but you all popped up when he asked this question. So, all right. Psychiatric RN, psychiatric nurse practitioner, student, 34 years old, Virginia, one teenage son.
What?
5'4". I hope she's talking about herself and not the son. Okay. Healthcare has truly be-hoarding the finest women, not gonna lie. So, okay, it's not like your bum ass qualifies. Hey, future husband, RN, South Carolina, 29, one kid. Hurry, step right up, fellas. Georgia, but Caribbean gal. Okay, you didn't say anything about that. All right. Where are the non-religious women with no kids who don't want kids? So, okay, just, all right. Dr. Jessica M. Brown, CNM, DMP, certified nurse midwife, 36, Syracuse, New York, 5'3", passport ready, warning signs. Peace and blessings. So New York is hurting, Dallas is hurting, Virginia and Maryland are big time hurting. Oh boy, 34, Dallas, we back in the belly of the beast again, back in Dallas, y'all. Family medicine physician, no kids but want them, dog mom. Okay, fellas, she's a nurse and a dog mom. Well, she's a physician and a dog mom, extrovert traveler, music lover. Hurry, step right up, fellas. No red flags there whatsoever. 37, no kids, want one or two, loves travel and vibing to live bands. So, oh, and she's posing in front of somebody's Mercedes. So, get ready for things to get expensive for you because she will not be spending her money for it and certainly not on you. 28 years old, veterinarian, no kids, a lover girl. All right. And don't look at anything she's posted. No warning signs here at all. Jane the doctor, 28. Okay, she sprinted through medical school. I mean, she didn't walk through it. She sprinted through. Love to sing, travel, and read novels. I'm a Cancer and first daughter, 0 kids. They said everything except their weight. Comment section is a medical staffing agency's dream. Okay, well, yeah, the problem is it a man's dream? The CRN, the. Wow, it struck me as being real familiar to Marcellus Wiley's wife. Ain't just no nothing right there. I was like, oh, that looked real damn familiar. That looked real damn familiar. So, all right. She's in Los Angeles, CRNA, 4'11".
Damn!
Oh, she is bite-sized. No kids, just looking for someone with common sense. Let's see how much common sense replied to her. Common sense isn't common. Hey, gorgeous. Common, you call it. The last line. Damn sounds cool. Okay. So, Lamb Chop thinks you sound cool. All right. All right. If you're looking for a black professionals network, let me plug you up. Okay. Can I be your husband? Elijah, is that you? Nigga, please. All right. Hello, beautiful. Can we both make use of our common sense from here? 31-year-old CRNA in Miami here with flight points and common sense. So he's from Miami, which means he is just running through everything from coast to coast. And brother, I don't blame you. The chicks had they ride in their 20s. You're going to have yours in your 30s and 40s. So it is what it is. If they had all been serious in their early 20s, they wouldn't be in this mess to begin with. They bet all their dice on getting a degree and I take care of myself, and now you're just waiting for a man with very few options to go ahead and jump in here. All right, age 50.
Damn!
All right, well, you asked for ladies in healthcare. I guess you get what you asked for. VA Dallas. I guess that's for the works of the VA hospital in Dallas in September, I guess. Passport and can take an assignment anywhere. Oh boy, the older they get, the less demanding they are, by the way. Isn't it amazing how much more flexible women get as they get older? As they get older, all of a sudden they get a lot more flexible. Isn't that amazing? When they were in their 20s, they were sitting up here barking out orders and telling you what they didn't have to take. As soon as they hit that big 5-0, all of a sudden it's like, baby, what do you need? Nursing, administration, MSN, 2 older kids, 29 years old and 27 years old.
Damn!
Enjoys traveling and sports. I'm glad to hear that because, fellas, she's going to put that bill on you. When she says that she enjoys traveling and sports, that's going to be her mean mugging you in the kitchen talking about when we're going to do some traveling for some sports. That's what that means. So she's like, yeah, it's a good thing I have a good career because I'm looking for a fellow who makes twice as much, even though I'm at the age of 50, and I expect you now to foot the bill for my traveling and my sports. Otherwise, you ain't a real man. Okay, this one said, wow. This one said, may your kids not see this. Okay, somebody's throwing sharp elbows. Hi, I'm in Canada. Let's please talk. Pinch and pimp on deck. The pinch and pimp's on deck. Tiga 34 Scorpio, Nigeria. Let's explore my world. Here they are, y'all. Carpet bombing. Does this fella look like he can take care of a nurse? Does this guy look like he is prepared to take care of a nurse? Didn't we see him post up already? So, yeah, does he look like he can take care of a 50-year-old nurse or 50-year-old nursing administration? Okay. Does he look like that? I don't think so. I don't think so. He's looking for a green card. He's looking for a green card, and he's hoping he found a chick who's looking to get her groove back. Well, Alicia Keys' husband. Oh, here's this dude again.
Nigga, please.
Here's this guy again. Okay, did I call it or did I call it? Did I call it or did I call it? Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. Uh-huh. Ladies, this is what you're going to end up with. Even those of you who, quote, think you got lucky. No, you just think you did. You go check that dude's social media and you'll see he done popped up elsewhere. So look here, you can pay now or you can pay later. That's the way it goes. All right, this is Gazelle from Canada. All righty then. 35 years old, no kids, never married, registered dental hygienist. Okay, I guess they're in healthcare. Perfectly fine. This should be fun.
Lie.
36 years old, no kids, Beverly Hills, y'all. California is catching the blues. California is catching the blues. 36, no kids, Beverly Hills, California, RN, BSN, 128 pounds. Okay, that means she is looking for Zaddy, is what that means. 5'5", med spa, healthcare staffing agency owner. Oh boy. So yes, sir, she is looking for Zaddy to settle down with. They're out there in California, so you know where this goes from here. You'll be presented with the bill. Logan, 35, NICU nurse, no kids but would love, located in Kentucky, willing to relocate. You're going to have to. You're going to have to. Seen the guys post and said, might as well. I'm an aircraft tech outside of DFW. Airplane doctor. Okay. 29, no kids, 5'9" with flight benefits. Okay. I guess he got one to respond. So I guess he did get one to respond. Okay, get in where you fit in. MRI and radiologic technologist, age 41, 5'11", Houston, Texas, no kids. Okay, 41 years old in Houston, Texas. 41 years old, damn near 6 feet tall, no kids. This is a dude right here. So, okay, the guys got piled down there at the bottom, I guess. Okay, Miss Prissy here, 29, MBBS, no kids, Nigerian. Okay, they're trying to keep it in the culture. Good luck on that one, because the Nigerian dudes is running the yard. So good luck on that one. I know your families are trying to keep y'all within the tribe, but yeah. But then again, when Zaddy comes around, y'all don't care about the tribe, race, or anything else anymore. So just have all these seats.
Sit your ass down.
That's what's going to end up being there. Have all these seats. So, man, I'm telling you here. Okay, this one here says Christ-driven, 32, single, no kids, nurse, master of public health. All right, Miss Sam. Okay, could she have more tattoos? Could she possibly have more tattoos? So, all right, folks. So she's fresh from Magic City, FNPBC ATL. All right, and then there's some fellas in there saying like, yeah, I remember you on the poll. So that's pretty much it. Okay, hi, I'm Dr. Oba. Yes, people, a credible clinician if I ever laid eyes on one. All right, let's see here. Nurse Two Keys didn't say anything. I'm late for the show. All right, pretty much there. So we had Nurse Two Keys. Okay, comes with kids in tow. I'm late to the show. Don't worry, you're on time for everybody else. Here is Dr. Terry Marie. 34, dentist, East Coast, 5'3", no kids. Definitely want at least 2 favorite Bad Boys. Favorite movie is Bad Boys 2. All right. This is Marilyn here, who I don't know what refugee camp she came in from, but she's clearly discombobulated. This fella here said, all I see is heartbreaks. All I see is heartbreaks. All right, here's Janae. I'm walking y'all down the list to show you all how long this is, just so you all can see. For a guy who only has 12,000 followers, and take a look at how long this list is of females jumping up here. 33 years old, 5'2", and fine too. So, did we mention humble? So she comes in the door telling you how fine she is. So that's so 1991, but all right. Humble too, by the way. No kids, 1 hypoallergenic fur baby. Birthday August 11th, if you want to surprise me. Okay, I wonder who showed up here, because she said she was fine. So, all right, y'all. This, the pension pimps and salary simps. I'll surprise you with a picture, he said. And it's like, okay, who hurt you? All right, well, a lot of people apparently. So, a lot of people. Speak for yourself. Ain't you here for birthday gifts, handouts, and surprises? So the fellas brought the hostility. Happy early birthday. That's my birthday too. All right, so the females are happy with you here. So, yes, sir. The hostility came easily. What state you currently live in? That's a smile right there that says gainfully employed, doesn't it? Yes, sir. If you take a look at this gentleman's smile, there's a gainfully employed smile if I ever saw one. He looks like a shade tree mechanic I used to pay back in the day. So, yeah, that smile right there in that profile picture, this certainly says gainfully employed. Gainfully employed with the benefits from the city sanitation department. So, all right. So many beautiful queens is here with your AI looking picture there. All right. NYCRN, aspiring nurse practitioner, no children, love to dance, social drinker, do not smoke, love bike rides and great live music venues. Baby, you don't have enough days off for that, which I'm going to come back to that in a moment. But to my fellas in NYC, however, she is available with multicolored hair. All right. Nurse manager BSN, 35 years old, 5'7", one preteen. Not interested in more kids. She's 35 years old and she would like for you all to come help her finish raising the child she has with somebody else. But she is letting you know, by the way, your job is to help finish raising the kid I had with the man I really wanted. And coming in the door, don't you even think that I'm going to do that with you. From here on in, we'll focus on my life, my career, my wants, my needs, and anything else I want before I divorce you. All right. I legit didn't know there was this many 30-plus-year-olds without kids. Well, once they go through the abortion clinic, I mean, you'd be amazed what happens after the abortion clinic. So, yeah. This one right here lying. So, what they're not saying is after the abortion clinic. So, yeah. Yeah, that's the way that happens. So, don't let the streets fool you. There's plenty of us. Don't let the streets fool you. There's plenty of us. Don't let the streets fool you. There's plenty of us. Don't let the streets fool you. There's plenty of us. Hurry, hurry, step right up, fellas. All right. There's so many of us. 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 All right. MLWRN 84, high 41, no kids, recovery nurse, San Diego, California. BB Gabrielle. Oh boy. Travel nurse.
Oh my God, bro. Oh, hell no, man.
26, no kids, current location, DMV. All right. Anybody who gets with a travel nurse in the DMV, you get what you deserve, basically. Pharmacist, 40, no kids. You know, the pharmacists are going, you're not going to get a young pharmacist. You're going to get the chick been around Walmart for about 30 years. Okay. Radiologic technologist and phlebotomist. She didn't say anything about not having kids. Nice leg tattoos there, but all right. She didn't say anything about not having kids. All right, 35 years old, 5'6", former national soccer player, current doctor in training, and mother of one incredible 12-year-old boy, non-smoker and loves my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. So, all right, fellas, come and get it. I understand this may sound quite depressing, not as depressing as what we've been reading, but as I've been reflecting on this post and spending a considerable amount of time here, I've come to realize that there's a significant group of black women over the age of 35 who are successful and established. However, they seem to be missing out on the most profound joys that many people associate with being successful and childless. I genuinely empathize with the women on this page who choose to showcase themselves publicly. Baby, nobody cares what you think. I mean, just seriously. With the crazy filters and everything else, and she's doing the picture of herself from holding the camera over her head. Ma'am, nobody cares what you think. They just don't. They don't care. Even I don't. I'm not even going to sit here and roast you anymore. I'm moving on to somebody more worthy of life. 34 years old, RN, Dallas, 5'2", no kids, want kids, and I love Jesus. I don't know why they keep bringing that up. The page is private, so she loves Jesus and hates transparency. Oh boy, okay, y'all. Zaddy rolled through. So, This might work out for him. Zaddy rolled through. 38 years old, registered nurse, one child, New Orleans, Louisiana, and I'm 5'7". Oh boy, that's... I'd like to know how much she weighs, because as a resident of Louisiana, oh boy, as a resident of Louisiana, I'm like, okay, they're usually tipping the scales at a size 16, 18, so somewhere around there. So, all right, nurse practitioner, 35, Maryland, D.C., no kids, 5'2". So if anybody knows Lauren wants you to know that she is 35 years old, nurse practitioner, Maryland, no kids, 5'2". And before I go on any further here, because I want you all to know this list goes on and on. It goes on for a while here. There's like 4,000 comments on here, and I'm not going to go through all 4,000 of them, but I did think it was worth noting one thing. I found this all to be very, very interesting. You have all these females here from various backgrounds, from all these different places, although we do see a high concentration, East Coast, South, and California. That seems to be the number of them. Okay, Botox, so she's into preserving things as long as you can. Perfectly fine, no issues with that. I'm saying all this here because I just thought all this was very, very interesting, because when you take a look around for certain things, for example, 29 years old, okay, 35, 36, 35, they got into their 30s, 50. You can make a spreadsheet for the names. 34, 28. Jane the doctor, 28. It kind of just begs a question. It does beg a question. How in the world is it that you all come from some of these very populous places? How is it that you can come from these populous places? You are in your 20s or your 30s. You're in Dallas, Texas. And you're still single. I mean, I think it really does beg the question here. What is it about you that the men saw, that the men encountered, that the men had to deal with, that they said, hard pass? That's the real question. What is it that the men saw in you and experienced with you that they said, yeah, I'm good? Honest question there. Because there's the real thing we're getting at. 31 years old. There's really no excuse for that. And yet, there we are. Talking about we are beautiful. Only if the men... Okay. Moving right along. Didn't even say her age or anything, so that just means you're walking off into that. We covered that before. 41 years old, and okay. And what I'm saying is, what in the world did they encounter when they met you all? The men who have talked to you before. What exactly is it with you that you've had access to so many men in these very high populated cities? They saw you, they met you, and they said, yeah, moving right along. Now, there's the real question. Why is that? What is it that they saw about you that they said, yeah, not a chance? 31 years old, no kids, want kids. Okay, how'd you make it to 31 years old and in California? And the gentlemen were like, yeah, no thanks. No thanks. See, there's the real question. The real question is that one. There ain't no virgins around here. Just forget about it. 40 years old, one kid. I mean, okay, fine. Think about that for a few moments. You're advertising to us that you're over 40 and you got kids. What exactly are you offering? Talking about never married. Okay, that's fine as long as you're not trying to get marriage. Now, if you got a kid and you were never married and you from New Orleans. What? Okay. So what about now? Are you now? Okay, now that I'm 40 years old with a kid, now I've never been married, but it's about time that you men snapped it up. I'm just saying, This isn't anything to brag on. Who is the guy who, there's a reason why the females are the only ones here. There's no man bragging that he just married a chick with over 40 with a couple of kids. That's nothing to brag about, man. What man goes to school, works his ass off in this sick, degenerate, hostile culture to raise himself to above average value, and then he's gonna just drop it all with a chick so he can finish somebody else's meal and come carry her damn burdens. So they're just out here basically advertising to the most destitute and desperate of men. That's the issue. They're really sitting up here advertising for the most desperate. They want to find out which of you guys has just been sitting on the sidelines so damn long that you have just been beaten into submission and you just said, screw it, let me just take whatever's out there. 28 years old, no kids, registered nurse who doesn't like to cheat, and then your profile is private, so that kind of refutes that. How'd you end up 28, no kids, no man, no options? 25 years old, psychiatric nursing. How did you end up? What is it about you that the fellas in Virginia and Maryland don't like? There's the real issue. The fellas in Virginia and Maryland, what is it about you that they don't like? That's the real question. Because you've got plenty of access to plenty of people. They've met you. These guys met you. They experienced you. They spent time with you. And they said, I'm good. Physical therapist, 27, Dallas, Texas. No kids. Hello, Kennedy. Okay, 27. 28's right around the corner. We all know it's downhill from there. I'm just letting you all know that this was the roster. 32, no kids. Maryland, 34, 2 kids. It's all right, fellas, come work your asses off. I'm just saying, who's the jackass who's supposed to say yes? Who's that clown who can't show his face among the men who actually have options? Who in the world he can't sit here and tell them all about how great that is? Let me explain something to the women out there. The reason why all of us knew that Brittany Renner was primetime jackassery and stupid is because she can sit up and talk about stepdaddy season all she wants to. There are no men, 0 men who walk among groups of other men bragging that they've decided to take up being a stepdaddy. That doesn't happen. That's the issue. That doesn't occur. The only place he plays stupid about that is with you. But he can't sit up here and show himself among the other men and brag to them that he met a chick with 2 kids, because every guy's going to give him the look. It doesn't matter who he is. As soon as he says that he's got with a chick with kids, we all going to give him the look. Yeah, I just asked her to marry me. Oh, good. Where y'all meet? Well, her and her kids were at Disney World. What? The fellas are going to give him that look, and it's like, oh, man. It's not going to be congratulations. It's going to be my condolences. It's going to be my condolences. That's all it can be. So there's the reason right there. This plays well for the females, and she doesn't give a damn what your friends like or don't like so long as she gets her bailout. Okay, but these guys are living lives of pathetic, sad desperation. They can't brag among the men. Nobody envies them. Nobody wants to be them. Nobody sits up here and says, wow, you got a good one. The guy's like, oh, broke you down too, huh? They broke you down. All right. That's what it is. So there's a reason why you can say those things, but there's only going to be a certain candidate you're looking for, and he's the guy that no men want to be like. No guys want to be him or be like him. And they didn't meet you and say, wow, wish I, taking care of them 3 kids, that would be a good trade-off to have, old girl. Nobody met you, ma'am, and said, oh, she's a doctor with kids? Okay, well, that changes things. Those fellas are not saying that to him. They're all sitting there giving him the look like, okay, yeah, man, they busted you down too, huh? All right. But they're not sitting there saying, well, you got a good deal. That's not happening. He's got to sit there and stay hugged up under you because he can't talk to the fellas and brag about what he did taking care of someone. We don't want to hear him sit up here and complain about the trouble he having with another nigga kids. See, you can talk to your fellas about the trouble you having with your kids. You can't come and talk to us about the trouble you having with your stepkids. It's like, well, nigga, we told you. You don't get a pat on the back and consolation and the fellas saying, okay, here's what you do. It's like, nigga, ain't nothing you can do. You walked off into that. Everybody knows the deal at this point. So, there's where it just gets weird. It just gets weird there. That's the problem that you're really running into. You're really running into that problem right there, and it's going to be too tough to have to deal with that. So what we have right now is an epidemic. In case you all were wondering, yes, you have confirmation of it here. These chicks went off in their 20s and 30s. Okay, so let's go ahead and just do the math right now. For the ones who are in their 30s, let's say 35 years old here. So we're talking about post 9/11. We're talking about post 9/11. So folks, within the last 20 years, a bunch of them are from 2000 and after 2010. They've been assing around just that long. They've been joking around. For the ones who are 25 or 26, that means since the pandemic. What? Did y'all get that? We got chicks in here. If she's 25 or 26 years old, that means she's been since the pandemic, man. Since the pandemic. That, come on now. There's the issue that we're having. Okay. In the chat room, Miss Sabre, that's all cute and wonderful. That really is. 2 kids at 34. I mean, you're a profitable entrepreneur. That's great. That's wonderful. I mean, it really is. It's no taking away from that. The problem is that the guy you get with, the real issue is how good of a deal is this for him? All right, let me go ahead and just jump right off into this right quick. Let me just go ahead and jump into this. The problem with this post is that you're dealing with a bunch of chicks who are in the medical field. That's the problem with it. You're dealing with a bunch of chicks in the medical field. Doesn't matter their age or whatever. Because these are women who don't have time. They don't have time. Any guy who has dated a chick who has worked her way up, she's not just a CNA or something. If you're dealing with an RN or higher, man, they're always busy. Oh yeah, and one more thing. They always have the same slogan. And I've taught you all this now for over a decade. They all have the same slogan. I'm tired.
Oh, please.
Everything is I'm tired. You go on their Instagram pages. They're tired. They're sleepy. They're laying out in the car. Videos of them lined up sleeping in the hallways of the hospital. They don't have free time. If they do, you have to jam it in. If you add children to the equation, it's like, oh, hell no. So they're always tired. They're always busy. You always got to see them when you see them. So they want to insist that you sit still. They'll call that monogamy. They want to insist that you sit still, and yet you're going to have to schedule time to be with them. You're going to have to schedule time. You have to fit in their schedule. Spontaneity out the window. You don't get to do any of that. I mean, not until they're so damn old it doesn't matter anymore. You don't get to do any of those things with them in their prime. That's the point I'm making. You don't get to do any of this with them when they're in their prime. You got to wait till they get old down the line and ragged out. And even then, now they're doing more pitching and moaning and complaining than anything else. So that's the point that they're not acknowledging. Yeah, they may want a man, but you prioritize your career, and specifically a career that monopolizes your time. Because you want to brag about your above average pay, but as I've told you all, nobody's going to give you above average pay without making above average demands. They're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. So this is what you end up with. You end up in this situation. A bunch of chicks here who gave away their prime years, and now they're looking for the fellas who are sitting on the sidelines and hoping that there'll be a few of them they can choose from. And I'm like, but that was the reason why you went into medicine, because you thought the hospitals would be full of them. And even the fellow who made the video here, as you can all tell, I mean, he may be Kevin Hart's little brother. What? But my point is, he's spoiled for choice too. I mean, the bar is not that high. Pardon the expression. The bar is not that high. So they're looking for a guy who matches or exceeds their income. But by the same token, they're going to be offered much less. In the chat room, somebody said male doctors aren't the same. Okay, the difference is that as men, we're supposed to work like that. As men, we're supposed to be workhorses. These are females with limited reproductive years. So exactly what is your incentive to marry her or something like that when her productive time is very limited and she's decided to dedicate that to a job and not a man? So men are supposed to be productive because everybody's going to be depending on or expecting us to carry all the bills. We're supposed to be productive. That's not special. That's not new or unique. We're supposed to be. We're supposed to be. The real issue is when this other stuff starts. So no, we are not the same. No, men and women are not the same. Newsflash, men and women are different. We're not the same. They don't make the same expectations of us. They don't have the same expectations of us. They don't make the same assumptions. They're not looking for the same thing. All these chicks sitting up here talking about they love to travel. They want to get married because they want a man who's going to foot the bill for all that traveling because she's worn herself out trying to do it herself. This one right here, 31 years old, a pharmacist. Anybody who has walked up to a pharmacy at Walmart sees how busy the pharmacists are. Anyone who has gone to Walmart, you go during any normal business hours, you can see how busy the pharmacists are. They're back there busier than the long-tailed cat in a room full of rocking chairs. That's what they're doing. So she's a pharmacist. Okay, that means you're busy as hell. That's what that means. You're busy as hell. And they're going to be looking for a guy who can wait until she is available. And even then, she's going to be surly. She's going to have an attitude. She's going to be tired. She's not going to, you're going to be there to patch things. She's going to be ungrateful as hell. You know, that's what you'll be stepping into. She's looking for somebody that she can shoehorn into her career because that takes precedent over everything. And that's the most important thing. These are the dirty little secrets that are not said. These are the dirty little secrets about that are not said. And I'm not wishing ill on anybody about anything about this. I'm just saying if you want to know what the real issues are and what the real causes are, that's the real issue. That's the real cause. So yes, you have a whole bunch of females out here working in medicine and whatnot, and they're all fighting for whoever the last sad sack is. They're not fighting for the best and brightest because those guys know they got options. He ain't got to play with none of you. He can run through the whole nursing department.
And deal with it, nigga.
Oh, I said that. Yeah, the fellas who got their act together, he can run through the whole nursing department. Y'all are all sitting up there hoping that you might as well roll the dice. Maybe I'll get lucky and he'll go ahead and give me a shot here. But the fellas who got their act together, he can afford to run through the whole damn nursing department. He doesn't have to settle. The ones who settle, that's the ones who are broke down. And what I'm saying is those will be the ones you're going to be competing for. Mr. Broke Down, Mr. Beat Down, Mr. Okay, I give up. That's what the fight will be over there. However, you might disagree. So let's go ahead and pin the Zoom link here in the chat room. A little bit of a sobering program tonight. A little bit of a sobering program here tonight, but I wanted to go ahead and cover that with you all here because in case you weren't aware that this was happening, your favorite YouTubers are just be speculating. I'm sitting here showing you, hey, there's a post out here that shows you just how deep in the paint this really is. What I'm going to say right here is to these ladies here, it's time for us to start discussing y'all's side chick position.
And deal with it, nigga.
Y'all need to quit playing around and bull jiving. You are already side chicks on the front end. It's time for us to see if we can get you in a committed side chick relationship is what we need to do. We need to do that. Baby, you sitting up here talking about 40 and 50 years old. I'm like, how much leverage you think you got at 40? 40 years old. How much leverage do you think you have? I mean, okay, you are the desired option for a nigga that's 60. So, Miss 40-year-old RN, I suggest you go ahead and to go to the VA clinic and see if you can grab one of them old doctors maybe when he's in town who's like 60 or 65 years old. That's what you need to do. Yeah, all you chicks up here and whatnot pushing 40, and you need to go find Mr. 60-year-old. If his hip still works or whatever, you need to go find him. That's where you're going, Miss 40 years old with a kid in New Orleans. Yeah, you might want to go hustle your way over to Biloxi or to Houston and see if you can grab something that's 60 or 70. That's where you're going to be. You will not be with another 40-year-old. You're going to be with something closer to 60, which is what I've been saying for 2 decades. You're not a young tender to anybody who is under the age of us 55. You're not a young tender. 40 years old, no man hears that and thinks young tender except a guy who's 60 or 70. So that's where you're going to need to be. You're going to be fighting over there. You know, with all the other chicks in their 30s and 40s and 50s and 60s, all of y'all are just going to be out here celebrity deathmatch duking it out to get that guy. That's where it's going to be. It's going to be that. It's going to be that. If nobody told you, okay, fine. But I don't have to lie to you. There's a reason y'all are sitting here and got so much free time. I'm not saying it. The damn world is showing you. I don't know what made y'all think you were bigger than the program. Oh, Jason, you about to go there. I'm about to go there.
And deal with it, nigga.
I don't know what made y'all think you was bigger than the program. I don't know what made you all think you were going to beat the odds. You can't beat the odds and you can't beat the game. You're not. You're going to get out here, you're going to pursue, quote unquote, your careers, and then you're going to be wiped out, run through, exhausted. You're going to have to go do that. That's going to be the issue. In the chat room, Miss Jazzy needs to give me a call up on Zoom. Very glad you asked that question in all caps, by the way. So glad you did that. So Miss Jazzy needs to give me a call up on Zoom. So glad you said that. You have 2 minutes to be on Zoom. So glad you want to ask questions about other folk. You know what? I'll indulge you. She's got 2 minutes to join us on Zoom. Boy, it's got to be sobering to find this out. It's got to be sobering to find out that after you spent the last 10, 15, 20 years of sitting up here telling yourself that your career was going to insulate you from the rules and insulate you from the game and exempt you from all these things, it must have been something to think that that's the way that was going to happen. You thought that was the way that was going to occur. And it doesn't happen that way. It doesn't happen that way at all. You're going to have to go ahead and recognize and just accept the reality that this is where it is. Y'all can sing Ciara's prayer all you want to. What you're finding out is that the exceptions to the rule ain't going to save you. You can keep praying to be an exception to the rule, but in case you didn't notice, you're just getting older. There's a bunch of y'all out here wasting damn me time because the real thing about it is, by the way, you could have yourself a committed side chick relationship. You could do that. Or you can sit up here and just keep telling yourself you have leverage that you really don't. But in case you didn't notice, this is the way the rules are going here. So y'all can go ahead and talk all you want to. It'll just be one of these guys in the damn comment section. Hey, baby, what's your sign? Oh, man, this fella here said red flags. 32-year-old RN, 5'2", no kids, upstate New York, Jamaican. He said red flags. Okay. All right, here comes another fella here looking to see if he can get over on his fellow immigrants. I'm 34 years old from Nigeria. Okay, another one looking to get over on his fellow immigrants. So, yeah, He's 35 years old from Pakistan, so everybody's looking to see if they can run through all the dark holes. So this is what's going on right now, y'all. Y'all sitting up here saying that you're from the Caribbean, so as everybody wants to see, okay, well, hey, you from the Caribbean, you know what that means, wink, wink. You know what that means, wink, wink. So everybody's trying to see if they can figure out if all the rumors are true at all the different levels here. And look at this, Marietta, Georgia, Dallas, Texas. This is depressing. This is depressing. You know why? Because at their jobs, they probably wouldn't give you the time of day. They wouldn't give you the time of day. They would be about as friendly as a cactus to talk to. I'm talking about a cactus swinging on you.
Nigga, what?
Imagine you all get into a fist fight with a cactus. I'm talking about one of them big Arizona cactuses with the arms on it. I bet you talking to them is about as friendly as talking to a fist fight in the Arizona cactus. And they want you to know what's going on there. So out there in Marietta, Georgia, I mean, I can just tell right now, surly as hell, you can tell that. You're just not interested in being friendly or anything. So she's only smiling if she thinks there's some money involved. And I see you, registered nurse Dallas, but by the way, don't document nothing. And I'm not saying it to be mean. What I'm saying is that, by the way, you have folks sitting up here telling you they're bigger than the program. Folks sitting up here telling you they got more than the program. Folks sitting up here thought that they were going to be saved from the last 2 decades of hoflation by going ahead and getting a job. And here they are 2 decades later realizing that, you know, it costs a lot to be a man. It costs to be a man. It costs you to try to match what a man does. It costs you to try to do what a man does. It costs you to try to get out here and take on the workload that a man does, put in the hours a man does, have the focus and commitment that a man does. It's going to cost you to do that. It's going to cost you to do that. And it's really no sense in them sitting up here trying to push for more than that. It's like, okay, yeah, you need to go ahead and get this side chick position because it's not like you're available for more time than that. You got side time available. You need a fellow who knows that you're just honest with him with the rules coming in the door. Okay, this is what it's going to be. No, instead, they're still trying to sell men on dreams. Actually, they're not even offering a dream here. They're just talking about themselves. It's like, okay, what are we supposed to do with that? How the hell is it that you're a black female in Chicago and, you know, with as many men as there are there in the same fields, then what? Then what? You thought your professions were going to enhance your value. It doesn't work that way. And all you all are really doing now is streaking towards 40 and 50 and older and trying to see who are the most desperate men in the room and whether or not they'll roll the dice and take a chance. And what I'm telling you is that it's going to be a nigga on a pension or a nigga that's drawing his SSI. That's what it's going to be. It's going to be that. It's going to be that. And if you're in your 20s and you're having these problems, I'm like, okay, there's something bigger going on here. If you are in your 20s and you're having these issues, there's something bigger happening. There's a bigger issue. There's a bigger issue. There's a bigger problem going on here if you're in your 20s and the men who see you and meet you, they're good. They're like, I'm good on you. And if you sit up here and say, they're not turning me down, I'm turning them down. Once again, miss me with the cope. If the men you really wanted were interested in you, you wouldn't be turning people down. The only offers you're getting are from men you don't want. What about the offers from the ones you do? Unless, of course, you don't want a man, in which case, okay, that's a different matter. But then again, you shouldn't be upset about that either. Then again, you shouldn't be upset about that either. So I want you all to be aware here that, man, no, everybody's catching a fade. Everybody's catching a fade, man. You got your little careers. You got your little stethoscopes. You got your little white coats. You got your little job at Cedar Sinai or whatever. You got that, and you're still catching them body blows. It's no fun out here. It isn't. You played during the early part of your life. Now you're going to get hit with the bill on the back end by a bunch of men who are a lot smarter and savvier than they were. You see, the time to go ahead and take these fellas off the shelf is when he's young and naive. When he's a fellow who's more interested in sexual access than sexual variety. Let me say that again. Ladies, the time for you to strike is when you're dealing with a young man who is far more interested in gaining reliable sexual access than achieving sexual variety. When he's young and kind of geeky and socially awkward, he'll take what he can get and he'll become comfortable there. However, if you allow him to get more established, you allow him to get his act together, you leave him out here having to learn how to present himself and work up game, and he's not going to just, when he finally does get everything together, he isn't going to want to be with just one female. He's going to be like, oh, hell no, I got the hang of this now. Now that I got the hang of this, why the hell should I settle for one? I know my worth.
And deal with it, nigga.
See, ladies, when a man gets his worth up, that means we can have multiple females. When a man knows his worth, he gets multiple chicks. When a female knows her worth, she gets a handbag. So if you leave these males out here long enough to work their way up and will get their weight up and start to go ahead and achieve real value, when he gets to the I know my worth stage, that stage doesn't end with you. You think, well, I'm so great and wonderful. That is your worth. No. Because a man who's built himself up, he has the worth of 5 or 6 women. So that's what it means to be a man who knows his worth, is having sexual variety. And that works for us because we can start a family anytime we want to. For the females, start a family does not mean what it means for a man. Let me explain this one more time. To all you lab coat chicks out there with your little stethoscope hearing aids, go ahead and listen carefully here. You're good being students. You can be a student of this. When a man says he wants to start a family, that means other people benefit. When a woman says she wants to start a family, she means I want to be somebody's burden. I'm looking for somebody to carry me. That's what a woman means when she says I want to get married. For men, it is I'm ready to take on a burden. For a woman, I'm ready to be a burden. Okay, well, what that means is if you are a burden, it's a buyer's market, not a seller's market. So if you're going to be a burden, you're going to have to be a very inviting, very enticing burden. And your lab coat and stuff doesn't make you that. So what you're going to either be looking for is the most desperate or the dumbest. And I don't think either one of those is actually a good thing, by the way, because eventually dumb and desperate are going to see the light of day, one way or the other. So as a woman, you're making a completely different deal, or at least you're trying to make a completely different offer than we as men do. When you say you want to start a family, you don't mean the same thing that we do. So you see, you're trying to achieve a completely separate goal than we are. And that's where it gets tough. So having your little degrees and credentials, that doesn't change the fact that this is going to be a burden. And that burden's not going to go away. As a matter of fact, it's only going to get heavier because the older you all get, the more demanding you get. If you're a female making $150,000, $200,000 a year, you're going to insist that the man have to make twice that because you don't want him to need your income. You're okay if your income is supplementary, but you don't want your income to be essential. You want him to be able to carry your burden and his, and so that at any time you can decide to drop your employment burden. Well, I don't have to keep my job. My man make enough for both of us. So that's their dream. As I said, for your dream is to be a burden. You want the man to never stop working, and you want to have the ability to stop working arbitrarily whenever you choose at a moment's notice. All right. It's easier to do that when you're the chick working down there at Costco than it is when you're the chick working at Presbyterian. No, look, man. I mean, look, the females went into the medical field thinking they were all going to get them a doctor. And then they got up in there and realized the doctors are just men.
And deal with it, nigga.
Oh, my breaking hearts tonight. Them hoes went to them hospitals and found out the doctors are just men. They found out the doctor is just a man. You thought you were going to find some dude who was like your daddy.
Oh, please.
You got up in there and found out the doctor is just a man. He's just a guy. And if he has the opportunity to grab all them butt cheeks on the floor, he's going to do it. And you're just the latest person there. So if you're lucky, you'll be at the end of the train. If you're lucky, you'll be at the end of it. When he's finished running through all the nurses, maybe you'll be the last one. I'm not spitting on nothing here. I'm just, hey, you know I'm telling the truth. So let's not even sit up here and play about it. You know I'm telling the truth. If you're lucky, you'll be the last one. At the end of his running through everybody's stage, you'll be the last. I can't even say stage. When he just gets so old and broke down, he can't run the field anymore because he's like an old horse that broke his leg. Okay. Yeah. No, they go to the hospitals and find out these guys are just men. They're just men. Yeah, he got his medical degree because he wants something. And guess what? Now that he's got it, now that he has it, he is going to leverage it to his advantage. So he's not going to be, he already spent all those years being alone, carrying debt, being laughed at, with the very females who are now sitting up here trying to pressure him for something. With the same females now sitting up here talking about he needs to make a move. He got himself into a position so he doesn't have to move if he doesn't want to. He doesn't have to move if he doesn't want to. Now there's the reality. And you will all be fighting and scrapping to the death. You'll all be sitting there having knife fights to the death over that one guy. Over the one. Not over the 10, because they're not fighting over 10 men. They're really fighting over one. These are groups of females who are going places by themselves. And females don't even like hanging out with females like that. They're going places on their own. Let me explain something to y'all. These chicks thought they were going to get medical school, and they thought they were going to be doing that garbage that Anne-Marie Wiley was posting. They thought they were going to be doing that. They thought they were going to be posting from Turks and Caicos. They thought they were going to be posting from Spain. They thought they were going to be jet setting and stuff, and that's not what it is. You never see that mess. They might go to a local baseball game. You can't make big money in medicine and be globetrotting like that. The corporation requires you. You are too needed by the corporation. You're too needed by the system. You're too needed by the company. You can't sit up here and do that stuff. You might be able to take a few days off, but then you got to be right back up in here because capitalism don't wait. So you got yourself sold on a dream that if you got your medical credentials, then everything would fall into place. And it's like, oh no, you just going to be a workhorse. And the chicks are like, oh hell no, this wasn't what I had in mind. This isn't what we had in mind. So it's not like you're going to medical school and there's a 1-to-1 ratio. There's the other problem with it there. I mean, there's more men than women, don't get me wrong. But what I'm saying here is that it doesn't take much. Women don't have to be the majority of female doctors in order to get priced out. Because the difference is, as females, you are looking for specific candidates, but there's only a limited number of those. The doctor has no problem dating the chick who works at Starbucks.
And deal with it, nigga.
There's the issue. As a female doctor, you would consider it to be a personal defeat and annihilation if you wound up with a Starbucks barista. However, the very same doctor, chief of cardiology, chief of surgery, chief of ambulatory care at your very same hospital, he'll be perfectly fine dating the chick barista at Starbucks. He'll be perfectly fine doing that. So you see, his pool of candidates is enormously larger than yours, because once you moved up, you consider yourself too good for anything, quote, below you. For the men, it's exactly the opposite. He'll take all of them and you. He'll take all these other females and you. There's the real problem there. There's the real issue. When you get stuck in that position. When you get stuck in that position, that's what happens. Now they're out here and whatnot with their degrees. They're doing crazy ass hours. They got tons of debt and they're looking for a damn bailout. Can we just be honest? That's what it's about now. They're looking for a bailout. Let me go ahead and take you all back to what the screen said to you there. Let me go ahead and take you back to that. Do you realize where these chicks are living, man? Y'all, do you realize where they're living? You're in Dallas, Metroplex blowing up, Tampa. That place skyrocketed as soon as Tom Brady got there. Upstate New York, need I say more? Marietta, Georgia. Dallas, Texas. Again, Dallas is putting boot to ass. Not belt to ass, boot to ass. Chicago. Need I say more? Come on, man. Maryland. Houston, Texas. Come on, California. This is a who's who of the most expensive places in America here. And they're going to be looking for a guy who's going to be able to step in from day one and carry that. And what I'm saying is, okay, how big of a pool of candidates is this? How big of a pool of candidates is this to want to be doing this? You have a situation like that happen? And the real thing right here is, by the way, does she want to be told anything? Does she want to be told anything? Tell me, how exactly do you lead a chick who's talking about, I'm a doctor? Who's talking about her degrees? Explain to me, how are you supposed to lead her? Take a look at what these chicks are talking about. Do any of them look like they want to be led by anyone? Or are they looking for what they see as the male hood ornament who is supposed to complete their social status package? Does that sound more like it? These chicks are not looking to be led. They went looking for social status, and now they're simply saying, okay, I'm ringing the bell because it's time for the man who is going to complete my social status picture. It's time for him to snap it together and get himself on over here. You tell me any of them that it looks like they want to be led. That they want to be a part of somebody else's program? Or do they look like they've already got a program and they're expecting you to get with it? There's the problem that we run into there. They got a program and they're expecting you to get with the program. And I mean for top dollar too, just walking in the door. How many of them look like they want to be led by anything? They're literally sitting here telling you whether or not you can expect any children from them.
Nigga, what?
They're literally sitting here this chick is literally sitting here telling you no long distance and she's got a kid. Talking about no long distance. Okay. They're literally sitting here telling you whether or not you're going to have any children. Get with her so she can make the rules. Get with her used up, ran through, ragged out draws so she can give you the rules. And all I'm saying is, okay, who is the guy who's supposed to be chomping at the bit to take that deal? Who is he? And this is just in the medicine field. This is just in the medicine field. You realize how many others there are? You realize how many there are? You realize how many other fields there are out there right now that they've priced themselves out of because they told themselves, if I was able to be a doctor, every man who talks to me needs to be on the same level or higher, whatever the case may be. And it's like, okay, all right. Welcome to social media, man. 29 years old and one kid. Yeah, how somebody explain to me how motivated is a man supposed to be for that? Who is the guy who's supposed to be motivated for that? And why in the hell would I want to be him? These are the questions that nobody's answering here. Okay, why on earth would I want to be that jackass sucker? Let me go ahead and put in 20 years of my life here of absolutely crushing schooling and study and everything else and jump through all the white supremacist hurdles and everything. And what do you get at the end? Okay, if she's got a kid at 29, you're an RN. That means you are out here slutting it up with Pookie and Ray Ray. And now you're looking for a guy who, while he was working and keeping his nose clean, you were sitting up here dipping and dabbing with Pookie and the boys. You made time for that. So the fellas who wasn't about nothing, you made time for them. But you're going to go ahead and get little Donnie Simp dumbass over here, and you're going to tell him that he needs to fit himself into your schedule with your kid. So the fellas, while both of y'all were in school, and yet he's keeping his nose clean, and she's like, oh, I am not going to waste no time out here. Pookie going to get his shot regardless. And then after Pookie's done, it's like, okay, now where's Mr. Responsible to come carry Pookie's water? Okay, how many of those guys do you think are out there? It's like 2 or 3, okay, and all of y'all will be fighting over him. And what do you think's going to happen when he sees all that competition for him? By the way, even the biggest simp in the damn world, what do you think it does to his ego when he sees all these females competing for him? Even if you all are the run-throughs, what do you think that does to his ego when he sees that? You think he says he's only got eyes for you, or does he start thinking to himself, actually, maybe you were the one who was lucky to get me to come and take care of this? And to all the chicks who were lower on the totem pole, kids, if this is what it's like for the females with their doctor credentials, their NP credentials, their CRNA credentials, if this is what it's like for them, imagine what it's like for the rest of you. There's the killing part. These are the female doctors out here, and they can't catch a break. They can't catch a break. If you're the chick working down there at damn me Big Lots or Costco's or whatever, and simply because a doctor laid on top of you, you're telling yourself that I am now millionaire materials.
Nigga, what?
Okay. This is what the females with some status in the healthcare industry, this is where they're at. This is where they at. You want to talk about stiff competition? This is where they're at. And let this be a notice to the fellas out there. That's the real thing. It's never actually been easier for men to have more females stacked up ever than any time in history. There's more sexual access out here today than there's ever been. Never been as much as there is right now. And especially if you go to some of these epicenters, Miami, Dallas, Atlanta. I mean, man, it's jumping at you. It really is. It really is. Y'all don't want me to say some names. You really don't. Okay, I'm going to say some names. What? Damn! I mean, at every lobby of every hotel in downtown Atlanta.
Nigga, what?
If you're in a lobby in a hotel in downtown Atlanta, man, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Fellas, if you want more options, go get your teeth done.
Nigga, what?
Oh, man, am I saying too much? Fellas, if you want more options, get your teeth done. Forget about these nurses. You know, they're already run through. You want to know who's really popping? Your dental assistants.
Damn!
Oh, am I saying too much? Am I saying too much? Fellas, the dental assistants, you know, because the nurses are out here with their heads in the clouds. But, man, look here. If it's a chick sitting behind a desk, if it is a chick sitting behind a desk, the lane is open. Get the fresh cut, get your clothes ironed. If she is sitting behind the desk, the lane is open. You know, some of the fellas now are just now figuring out, yeah, go get your teeth done twice a year. You pull up and something costs $150,000, $200,000, all of a sudden they remember you. I'm not lying. I ain't lying. And you know it. If she's working a job sitting behind a desk, the lane is open. The lane is open. I can go down the list there, but you get the point. You get the point. Fellas, if you got the gift of gab, if you know how to strike up a conversation, it's going. Everything from LAX, by the way, from the moment you get off the plane at LAX, to any of my fellas who've been to LAX, from the moment you get off the plane to when you get to the rental car, shout out Enterprise LAX. What? Damn! Enough said. Details I don't discuss. Details I don't discuss. But by the way, fellas, if you get off of LAX, okay, everything from there to the rental car place. If nothing happened for you, it's because you didn't try. It's just either that or you don't know how to talk well. You need to put in some practice. To my fellas in Atlanta, there's a reason why niggas can show their ass in Atlanta and Chicago. What? Oh, I'm sorry. Am I saying too much? Let me tell you something. Yeah, ladies, y'all are correct in every damn word y'all said. The men know they got the damn advantage in Atlanta. In Atlanta and Chicago. Niggas in Atlanta, they know what they got. They're not struggling. They're not fighting. If fellas are alone, it's because they want to be. It's the ratios are what they are. As long as he is gainfully employed and ain't sitting up in jail, which means he can come see you, men know they got access. They got access. Yeah, you're right. Atlanta's wide open, man. Atlanta's wide open. I've been there many a moon. Been there many a moon. It's summertime. If you out during the holidays or whatever, and y'all think it's bad now, wait till they finish Centennial Yards. What? Damn! I mean, right now, you know, the spot really is, a lot of folks hang out at Lenox Mall and stuff like that, but when they finish Centennial Yards, y'all think it's bad today? Wait till they have that open air shopping mall that they're going to call Centennial Yards. You wait till they get done with that. Where now folks can just walk around downtown Atlanta. Now they don't have to leave. All the shopping is outdoors. They don't even have to go all the way out to Lenox Mall. They can go downtown and be downtown. And anybody who's seen the belt loop, if you've been there in downtown Atlanta, shout out W Hotel. You see the damn belt, that thing stay finished. That thing stay full. So you think it's bad now? Fellas know they got options. They know they have options. They know the math is outrageously lopsided toward them. Unless you're just a fellow who has no social skills at all. Now, if you're a fellow with just zero social skills, okay, this ain't gonna work. But then again, nothing works for you. But for men who have some social skills, that's it. New York is a slightly different thing. let me just say, New York is a slightly different thing because New York females are so damn masculine.
And deal with it, nigga.
But it's true. It's true. New York females are so damn masculine. New York females are so masculine, so pushy. And don't get me wrong, you beating up on I love a New York broad. I love me a New York broad, okay? I'm actually rather fond of them, but I gotta tell the truth about y'all New York chicks. New York chicks are just so masculine and boorish, and I mean, it's not a stereotype if it's true. My fellas in New York, y'all know I'm telling you. New York women are just pushy and masculine and bossy, and it's just, oh man. And everything is expensive, so you're going to be paying top dollar for butchy, bossy, masculine, pushy. You're going to be paying top dollar for that. So there's the real thing about it, you know. There's the real issue. So New York females, it's like if you meet 10, okay, and the other thing is they're slutty as hell too.
Damn!
So there's the real thing. The real thing is not if you want some sex. If you want some sex, New York females are down. It's just, they're going to like, yo, you doing this or what? It's going to be like that, you know. New York females are like that. So if sex is what you want, New York females are slutty as hell. They'll go right to it. The real issue is putting up with everything after that, you know. While she's naked, I guess you two are going to get along pretty well. As soon as y'all two are finished getting naked, now you have to deal with her attitude. Now you got to deal with the baggage, and now you have to deal with her as a person. It's just like, okay, New York fellas are like, we're done. So all my New York females, on behalf of the men of New York, they're done. They're done. New York men don't really want nothing with New York females. They done got a taste of the hot sauce and they're through with it. So I'm just letting you ladies in New York know. It's on behalf of the New York men, yeah, they're done. I mean, they love you, but they know you're a hassle. So just letting you know. On behalf of New York men, yeah, we're good. We're good. They're like, yeah, see if you can get some of them down south niggas to come grab y'all. What? That's what the New York men are on today. The New York men are like, okay, get some of them naive niggas from the south to come after y'all. Let's see if you can get some of them. So, I mean, it is what it is. They're tired of hearing about degrees. They're tired of hearing about your funky ass job. They're tired of hearing about all of the elevated, highfalutin things you think you're supposed to have at his expense. They're tired of the third wave feminism, very shabbily, sloppily repackaged as Afrocentrism, you know, with just a dab of Afrocentrism. They're tired of that. Once they start dealing with you as a person, I mean, you're not even able to pretend for a little while that that's not what it is. You know, you talk to a chick in New York and she's literally 5 seconds away from just saying, sit down and shut up. It's just that, you know, just a chick from New York. They're not pleasant. They're not pleasant consistently. Let me just say that. They're not consistently pleasant. They're pleasant when they want to be, but not when you need them to be. And I'm just saying, fellas in New York are done with it, man. They're done with it. They're done with it. The best you're going to get out these niggas in New York is a baby. So they might get you pregnant, but that's going to be the end of that. That's going to be the end of that. But they're not really looking to hang in there any further than that. They're not really looking to hang in any further than that. But then you get out in California, and it gets even, well, in California, all the females want to be prima donnas. In California, they all want to be stars and prima donnas. And it's just like, okay, who's supposed to carry that, man? Who's supposed to carry that? So, no. All your highfalutin degrees that you thought were going to be cheat codes to acceptance or whatnot, you're trying to relate to men on male terms. How about relating on some female terms? Oh, I'm sorry, you don't speak the language, so never mind. A fellow would be a hell of a whole lot. Listen to me. A man is a whole lot better off getting himself a 22-year-old who is a disciplinary problem than a 32 or 42-year-old who is a disciplinary problem. At least he's going to get a lot more social status and cachet and frankly, feminine satisfaction from it.
And deal with it, nigga.
Not beating up on nothing, y'all. I'm just reporting the mail. Ladies, y'all get older, and when you get older, you get tired. Now you're a, quote, medical professional. Now you're triple tired. Your attitude sours. You're bitter. You're sour. You're rank. You know, a younger female who hasn't been put through the damn meat grinder like that, she's going to be pleasant, at least till she gets there. And as you all get older, it's not like you're getting older and better, older and softer, older and kinder. They're getting older, and it just becomes even more unpleasant. What are men supposed to do with that? Now you're living in some overpriced megalopolis. You're living in some overpriced megalopolis, and she wants to have all the bells and whistles. She wants to live downtown. She wants to drive a Range Rover, because if she's a medical professional, of course, she needs to look the part. If she's a medical professional, she needs to look the part. I was looking on Instagram the other day. There was some chick who's a nurse practitioner driving a G-Wagon.
Oh, please.
I'm just sitting there like, okay. I hope you enjoy your 1 year of ownership there, because that thing's going to eat you alive. It's going to eat you alive and lick its fingers. Yeah, you're looking for some guy to come in and shoulder that. They want to sit up here and have stunt mobiles and sit up here and have status and show pictures, and because they want to be the envy, because that's what the whole point is. The whole point is they went to school looking to get a degree so that they could brag about themselves. They don't want to be subordinate to a man. They have no interest in being subordinate to a man. They want to know what the hell you're going to do for them on account of, well, take a look at my credentials. And the first time you tell her that oh good, you can pay for a vacation, she's going to tell you kiss her ass. That's the killing part about it. She's not trying to get a bunch of money together so that she can, so that she can shoulder anything. She wants to get that together as justification. Well, if I can make $200 a year, you need to be making $500 a year. That's what that is. If I'm making $200 a year as the woman, then you as the man need to be making $500 a year. So I don't have to tell you make more. You already know you should be making more on account of the fact that you want to be with me. So that's what you should be doing. You need to be making more money and more status. And it's like, okay. These are chicks who are talking about they tied at 30 years old. Then they'll go get a guy who's 40 or 50 and they expect him to be a workhorse. Who in the hell is the man who's looking to put his foot on the gas at 50 years old? I mean, other than me. Who is the guy who's thinking about doing that? That he's going to be 50 or 60 with his foot to the floor. Simply because he met you. That after all these years now, he needs to really pour the gas on because he needs to demonstrate that, because we need to make sure you have a good look. And for what? For your medical credentials, which do what for him? A man can't brag to people that he's with a doctor. That doesn't do anything for us. Don't get me wrong, for him personally, he can take personal satisfaction in it. But ladies, men don't sit around gossiping and clucking at each other about what their wife does for a living. They don't. Women do that with each other because that's that social game that you all play of one-upmanship. Another man is not impressed by another woman's profession. That doesn't get status with us. Go ask, for the females in here who got a man, go ask him how impressed he is with his homeboy's wife's job. Go ask how often they've even discussed it. Men don't sit around bragging to other men about what their wives do for a living. what degree she got. Oh, it's graduation day. Men don't do that. And furthermore, you heifers know we don't do that. Men could give a damn what another man's wife does for a living. It's like, all right, dude, that's cool, I guess. Hey, man, you know the Raiders are playing this Sunday. It goes straight there. While you're sitting here telling yourself that you're somehow polishing his social credentials, I'm just like, hey, let me just keep it all the way funky with y'all today. Congratulations on your little medical degree, ma'am. That has personal value maybe to the relationship you have to that man. It means nothing to anybody outside of that for him. Now, what your man does gives you value among other women. What you do gives him no value among other men. He doesn't get a price break. He doesn't get a discount. He doesn't get special dispensation. He doesn't even get jealous looks. It's a non-issue. It doesn't matter whether your woman is a doctor or a Sports Illustrated swimsuit model. It doesn't do anything for us. Shout out Tiffany Haddish. What? Anything that keeps her from behind the wheel. But in any case, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't. And that's not dissing. And I'm not being belittling. I'm not saying it doesn't matter. I dig a chick who, has got credentials or whatever. I dig a chick who is a dedicated professional and takes her job seriously. I can't do anything but respect that. I can't do anything but think that's cool. I just need you to understand what it isn't. Now that we talked about what it is, let me go ahead and jump over here on Zoom here. Oh, goodness. It is Chrissy. Okay. Which non-medical professional field you in, ma'am?
I didn't call for that. I just have a question. Hi. So why does it matter what field I'm in?
It doesn't.
Yeah, thank you. What are you talking about? You said he can't brag about being with a doctor. So you said men don't brag about their wives' careers, correct? Or they're not concerned about that?
Men do not sit around with other men bragging about their wife's profession. That does not do anything to elevate your status as a man among other men.
Right. Okay. So then why are you so concerned that Brittany Renner doesn't have a job and that other girl that you were talking about doesn't have a job? Like, does it matter or does it not matter? Which one is it?
I'm not concerned about Brittany Renner's employment nor lack of employment. However, I do consider
you made a whole
okay, you're going to just be quiet and listen. I do not care about Brittany Renner's employment nor lack of employment. However, when you are literally going to the Bugs Bunny cartoonish extremes of running from the state you live in, Texas, and going to California to try to file for child support under the scummy ass notion that you've got more favorable laws there, I am certainly going to speak in criticism of that.
Why does it matter though?
It matters because as for men, it doesn't matter for her.
Okay, why does it matter? She has $0. You said
she needs to get off. She needs to get off of her ass and go get a job and stop trying to sit up here and scam for child support. That's called adulthood.
Okay, so if she goes and becomes a nurse and makes $200,000, you're still going to talk about her.
I don't care if she's I wouldn't know. If she stops sitting up here chasing dudes for child support money and gets on with her life, there's nothing to talk about.
What you talking about? These ladies over here that make $200,000?
No, I'm talking about the situation. I'm not talking about them as individuals. You're not keeping up. I'm talking about their situation, not them as individuals. And their situation as being black females who are professionals, credentialed, degreed. They are in a high-paying, otherwise prestigious profession, and yet their personal lives are extremely lacking. And this is not the exception. This is the rule. So these females constitute the numerical evidence and proof that the statement I just made is factual.
So just because they don't have a partner means that their personal lives are lacking?
They no, what I'm saying, yes, that's definitely the point. And I'm not the one saying it. They are.
So that means your personal life is lacking because you always say you ain't got no wife, you ain't got no girl.
Okay,
You say that every
we've
program.
covered this again. I'm a man. I'm different. What you are looking for is not what I'm looking for. You are looking for sexual support. I am looking for sexual variety, and I have it. Which is
Ew,
why
that's disgusting.
Which is why
That's
I have
actually
your
a disgusting
which is why I
thing to
have
say.
your side chick application on file.
Sir, you
Deal
don't want
with
me
it,
to
nigga.
air that out because
Ma'am, you can air out
I
whatever
don't
you
think
choose, ma'am. I have no problem with that. There's no
I don't-
shame in
I
my
think-
game. I can do this right here in front of everybody live, ma'am.
Do you?
Ma'am, I can do it in front of everybody
put the
live.
emails on screen.
There weren't emails. There were text
Oh,
messages.
yes,
ma'am.
they were. They are emails. Because when I reply, yeah, like I said, you don't want to wake that up. Anyways, moving
You don't
on.
want me to show everybody the last thing said? No, ma'am. This doesn't bother me one way or the other. I have no problem
Show
with it.
them the thread. Show them the thread.
Do I have your number or do I not?
No, do I have your
Okay,
number?
ma'am. Do I have your number or do I not?
You been had my number.
Okay.
I didn't even know you had my number. You reminded me that you had my number.
Oh, so in other words, you gave it to me
I-
a long time
like I-
ago. So in other words, you gave it to me a long time ago.
No, you took my number. Like I said,
How
you don't
am I
wanna
going
wake
to
this
take
issue
your?
up.
How the
You
hell did
don't-
I take your number?
You don't want to wake this up, Jason.
How did
You
I
don't.
take your number? Explain to me how
Because
I took your
called
number.
in somewhere and then you texted me after I called in. I didn't give you my number to be texting me. I called in for a completely different matter.
You gave me your
texted
number.
No, I called in somewhere and you texted me after I called in.
No, you got.
I
don't
told
ever,
you I wasn't gonna wait.
I don't ever do that. So that would be a just complete
That's
lie.
why I said I was going to wake this up, Jason,
Okay.
because
Well,
that was crazy that you even did that.
That is.
I didn't bring that up.
It's
You brought
crazy
it up.
that you gave me your number. No, it happens all the time, which is why you did it again. I didn't even remember.
Jason,
I didn't even
show
remember
the
who
text
you.
messages because
I didn't even
told
remember
you that in
who
the
you.
text-
I didn't even remember
I
who you
didn't
were.
remember who you were. Jason.
Then how'd I get
Show
your
the text messages?
Then how'd I get your
Show
number
the text
for?
messages.
Then how'd I get your number for a second time?
That? Oh, how did you get my number?
You gave it to
that's
me
when
again.
I gave it to you. The second time I actually gave it to you intentionally.
Okay,
the
so
first time
I didn't give
you
it to you.
got
I
off
didn't
of
give
a
it to you the
caller
first
ID.
time. I just gave it to you the second time.
You took my number off of a caller ID. The second time I
I
intentionally
don't
gave
have
it to
caller ID.
you. Okay, Jason. Then how are you able to say, "Hey, caller from XYZ number"? That's how you knew my number. Stop lying, bro. You're not about to get on this
You're on.
website and lie
You're
about
on
me.
Zoom.
You're not about to be on Zoom lying about me.
She gave
That's
me her.
not what I didn't-
She gave me her number twice, not once.
That
but
is a
twice.
lie. He took my number the first time from a register, basically a call log, and the second time I provided him with my number intentionally.
It didn't
You're not
stop.
about to
It
play
didn't
with-
stop you from calling back.
Bro,
Even
I
if what
called
you're
back
saying-
because
even if
I
what you're
wanna know
saying
why
were-
you're talking about black
Even
women
if
who make
what you're saying were
$200,000 a
true,
year.
it didn't stop you from calling back.
You can show the text messages, which you again are refusing to put on screen, which I gave you permission to put on screen. Put the text messages and the email. Do not play with me. Don't play on me. I said I wasn't gonna wake this up, and you woke it up. Anyways, moving on. Why are you talking about these women that make this much money to the men in your audience who do not make anywhere close to $200,000?
They make more than enough for you.
You don't know how much I make, boo.
I know how much you don't make.
How much don't I make?
You make a little enough that you're available every Friday and Saturday night.
That's not true. I rarely.
As evidenced by the fact that you keep calling to talk to me. So you make little enough that you are unoccupied on Fridays and Saturday nights consistently.
It's not consistent because I rarely call up here.
You call in a lot more than most other people do, and always on Friday or Saturday. So you
most
are
people-
available.
Yeah, because I'm busy throughout the week. Also, it's
Clearly
'Cause I have
not.
something to do
Clearly
tomorrow.
not busy enough.
I have something to do tomorrow, so I have to get ready today. But you don't know how much I make. That's why you're not even throwing out a guess because you know you'll be wrong. Boo, you don't know how much I make, and please, I make more than the males in your audience.
And that's done you what good?
I can eat, can I? That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Like, why do you want women to be out here and not being able to provide for themselves?
And
not
what
being
is
able
it
to
done?
eat,
What is it done?
destitute,
Okay,
broke?
and what
What
is
does
it
that
done
do
for your
you?
status? What good is it done for your status?
You can't check my status. You don't know anything about my status.
Your profession's done nothing for it.
You don't know anything about my profession or where it's guiding me. But what is
I
it
don't know if it's
exactly?
OnlyFans or Streetwalker. What I will say is that it hasn't done anything for you.
That's fine. What exactly does it get for you having some sort of fantastical idea that black women are out here destitute and they can't feed themselves and can't pay them bills? I can feed myself. I can pay my bills. But you, for some reason, get some sort of jolly out of thinking that black women are out here destitute and can't do anything for themselves and have to crawl around and beg for a man to give them. What do you get out of that?
This is called projection, brothers and sisters.
You literally do it every week on your program.
This is called projection. Black women do not have to be crawling or anything else. However,
talking
they
about
are
women
expressing
who make close to $250,000.
They are expressing a tremendous amount of dissatisfaction despite having pursued careers over the course of a decade or two. That means the plan failed.
Does not indicate that you are dissatisfied with your life.
That's just a desire. It does when you want to prioritize a mate. Why didn't you prioritize that when you were prioritizing a career? Because
you sat up here and called Brittany Renner broke.
You're going to be quiet.
These women chose not
you're
to
going
be
to be
broke.
quiet and you're going to be quiet and listen. When they had the opportunity to choose their priorities, they had the choice between. So you want them to be Brittany Renner. This is the last time, Sister Polite, we're going to tell you be quiet while the host is talking. If when they had their prime in front of them and they could have chosen whatever they wanted, they had men talking to them. What they instead chose was a job over a personal relationship. The problem with this logical fallacy is that the job gonna be there. The job will be there forever, but the men who want to make a commitment to you will not be there forever. That's the difference.
So you're saying that a man is going to make a commitment to you just because you tried to get with him when you're younger?
No, I'm saying that when you are youngest, males are more naive. They are not seeking sexual variety. They are seeking sexual access. That is when you have the most leverage and the most ability to get him to commit because his priority is sexual access and not sexual variety. As he develops himself, he will become less naive, and now his priority will become sexual variety and not sexual access. So in other words, when you had the lead, you blew your chance.
So you're telling me that all of these women made no efforts to try to offer a man these things in their younger years?
I'm not saying that they made no effort. What I'm saying is that it's very clear that their priority was their job.
Okay, let's accept that.
And that's not my opinion. That's what they say.
How come you have a problem with Brittany Renner? Brittany Renner did what you're saying they should have done.
Why are you so standing Brittany Renner? What is about Brittany you wish she could be?
Used her looks. She got with a man when she was young. That's what you're telling women to do?
Brittany Renner got run through when she was younger. She didn't get with a man.
She did it. Did she not get with a man and use her looks?
She got with tons. She didn't get with tons of men. She just got run through by tons of men. She was not trying to make a commitment to anybody. She was trying to have sexual joyriding. That's what she blew her 20s doing, was sexual joyriding. That's my whole point. When she should have simply consolidated on one man, she decided to go sexual joyriding like most of you do. And this was the result. Now she wants to strong-arm men into a bailout because she doesn't want a relationship. And that is the issue. And these women blew their 20s looking for a job and prioritizing that instead of prioritizing males who were in a phase in their life when they would have more easily agreed to that kind of thing. As we get older and more established, we realize we don't have to do that. We got too many options. So when a male is younger and less accomplished, he has fewer options. That's the time for a female to say, okay, come on over here and stick with me. You give him time out here by himself, all he's doing is cultivating options. That's it. Right. I don't know if you can read that Post-it note. If you need help deciphering it, let me know.
It's literally my handwriting. Anyways.
You might need Chat GPT or Chat NGT.
See, I don't even use Chat GPT. I write my
Chat nigga PT? NGP? No. Yeah, you might need Chat NGPT. Damn! Not Chat GPT, Chat NGPT. Chat nigga PT? Yes.
Yeah, leave the jokes to me, buddy. Anyway, next. So there's a study that says older men who try to have children are more likely to produce children with schizophrenia, but you try to encourage older men to have children. Why do you do that?
Okay, well, first of all, older men have been having children since the dawn of time. So,
Doc, it's science. Science. Stick to science.
okay,
Not your emotions.
I'm going
Science.
history. Older men have had
Science,
children.
not your emotions. Science.
I do not acknowledge whatever study you're referring to. I don't acknowledge it.
That's all I need to hear. You don't acknowledge science. That's fine. So that
I
means
no, I
everything
don't
else you
acknowledge
say
what
is-
you're. I don't acknowledge what you're saying. I don't think that's science.
It's proven. It's proven.
because you say it. Okay.
No, it's because you're choosing not to look it up and validate
because
what I'm
you
saying
say
because
it?
goes
You smoke
against
crack,
your-
don't you?
your-
You smoke crack, don't you? Look at me, boy. Don't you smoke crack?
You don't even have a college diploma. I am a master's candidate. What are you even talking about? And you're trying to verify or validate.
I don't give a damn if you're a Republican candidate. The bottom line is that it's done absolutely no value for you.
No. I had to verify and validate my knowledge in order to get it. You're just speaking on emotions and nonsense.
You don't have
It is
any
a-
knowledge.
it is-
You don't have any knowledge. You have hoe babble.
That's perfectly fine.
You have
and people,
babble.
women. It is scientifically proven that men who have children after the age of 40 are more likely to produce children with schizophrenia. Look it
Okay,
up
and,
if you want
that's
to.
never stopped men from being able to have kids
Of
well
course,
into their
because you
80s,
guys don't
so.
care who you're harming, including your children or your women.
Okay,
So,
is this coming
of
from
course you would.
coming from the female abortion generation talking about not caring about harming children? Is this a serious statement?
You just said
From
that you don't
generation
care
abortion?
you don't care that men produce children with an increased rate of schizophrenia, but women are harming.
Okay, if
What are we
your
talking about?
argument is that children could be born with some type of defect or
It's-
something,
No,
that can happen
men
at any age.
of an older age are more highly to produce children with schizophrenia
Okay,
because
if
their
your
sperm
argument-
is more degenerated.
If your argument is that somebody can have children that can be born with a defect,
No,
that's going to be a
men-
very large pool that you're going to have.
Men, as they get older, specifically past the age of 40, their sperm begins to degenerate and they begin to have higher risk of children with
Well,
schizophrenia.
you can repeat your silliness as much as you want to,
It's
but the
a
bottom
fact and
the
it's a
bottom
study,
line
and
is that
everyone
that
should be
is
aware of these
the bottom
facts,
line
these
is that that's not a
scientific
factor.
facts.
And by the way, when you say older men, what age are you referring to?
I literally just said more than 3 times over the age of 40. Stop.
Okay,
Stop
and
stop
for
insulting my
and for
intelligence.
females, what is too old? What's considered geriatric for a female?
Thank you.
What
Glad
age-
you asked.
what age is
according,
that?
according to these studies, it is the women whose eggs are healthy.
Okay,
past
at
the
what
age of 30.
age is a female geriatric?
Why do you keep speaking over me? That's a very childish.
At
trait
what
of yours,
age?
and I'm
I
going to
asked the
ask you to
question. I
stop.
only want the
I'm going to
number.
ask you to stop
I
speaking
only
over
want
me.
the
Thank you.
number.
I'm going to ask you to stop speaking over me.
I just
so
want the
after
number.
Women's eggs are healthy. Women's eggs are healthy, and it is the male degenerated sperm that actually.
Okay, at what age is a female beyond healthy for her eggs? What age is that?
What is that?
At
Did you
what
say beyond
age? At
healthy
what? At
for
what?
your eggs?
At what
Your
age?
eggs
Are
are with
at
you
what
when you're
age are
born, so your
females?
eggs
At
are
what
not-
age is a female geriatric pregnancy? What age is that?
That term, I don't.
So you
believe
don't
that
know the
term
name?
because-
So you don't know the number? You don't know the age?
First of all, it ranges from 35 to 45.
No,
And
it doesn't.
even
It doesn't
after that-
range. It doesn't range. It starts at
Yes.
30. It starts at 35. It doesn't range.
No,
And actually, the number's 30.
You-
Actually, it's
you're-
34. But it doesn't.
No,
it doesn't
it's not.
range.
First of all,
It
first
doesn't
of all, if you want to
range.
take it there, if you want to wake that up, it's different for white women to black women. So white women, okay.
Okay, but
perhaps
you were
it
just
starts
telling
at
us
thir-
about men in their 40s, when in reality that's irrelevant because females start falling off in their 30s. So you
What
should
does
be
falling
you should
off
be
mean?
you
That's
should
not
be
a
worried
scientific
you should be
fact.
worried about the
sperm
reproductive
of
ability of
men
females.
Scientifically degenerates after 40.
Why don't you
Falling
worry
off is
about
not a
the why don't
scientific
you worry
fact.
about the
That's
sexual
why
viability
you
of
don't have
females?
a degree and I do. Falling off is not a scientific fact that can be studied.
Why
What
don't
does
you
falling off
focus why
mean?
don't you focus on female sexual reproductivity and not
I
males?
do.
How
I'm
about that?
intelligent and I'm informed about both.
Yeah,
I'm informed about both.
I literally
You're
show
just
how
informed-
uninformed you are every time you call in. I literally
How
do it
is
every
that
time.
possible when I'm stating scientific facts and you're just calling me brother polite and saying
I said
females
sister polite. I
fall
said
off?
sister
It's saying
polite.
females fall off.
Sister
That's not a
polite.
scientific fact. That's not even scientific information.
Sister
what does
polite.
fall off means in science?
Sister polite, not
What
brother
does
polite. Sister
fall
polite.
off mean in science? Scientifically, what does that mean?
Okay, you fall off in your sexual reproductive viability starting at age 34 to 35. That's
Where
not
is
a
that
range,
in
just
science?
once you start doing
Where's the fall off chapter in biology? Where is that?
Okay, fall off.
What is that?
The fall off chapter is right by your hairline.
Deal
My
with it,
hairline
nigga.
is literally
Yes, ma'am.
full.
No,
I've gotten
ma'am.
compliments on my hair all
Okay.
day.
May
I don't.
May I show you on the screen so everybody can see your wonderful hairline?
Stop trying to show me to your sick, psychotic
Okay,
audience.
can I
Your
show everybody?
audience.
Do I have your permission to show your
No,
hairline?
I know you don't have permission to show anybody in your audience my
Okay.
face. You
All
guys are
right.
all
CCH Pounder. So okay, I want
degenerates.
the opportunity to show everybody your hairline and
You
your,
want the
and
you
your
want the
t- and
opportunity
your
to
teeth.
harm a black woman and to expose me to your audience of strangers.
You
Why are
know-
you trying to expose me to an audience of strangers who could harm me?
Okay.
I don't know these people.
You know,
You're psychotic.
while you were getting your degree, why didn't you get some veneers and some teeth?
Why
You
would I
could have
get
done
some
that.
veneers?
You wasted money on a degree when you could have wasted. We just could have spent that money with a dentist to go ahead and get them teeth lined up. That right there, that would be.
In what way is veneers a smart and sound financial
I'm
decision?
trying to go with a more economical solution for you because if they try to put
In what
braces-
way is veneers an economical decision?
if they don't have titanium braces, they ain't gonna get them teeth straightened out. So I'm trying to find the most economical solution.
Sir,
for you.
I have gotten compliments from my dentist my entire life about how straight my teeth
your
are.
dentist
That's-
needs to see my optometrist so he can see what's actually
I
going on.
have gone to dentists all over the world,
And
Sir,
that's-
you
and
couldn't
that's
have
the
access-
best-
You
and
would
that-
never have access to the care that I've had
and
access
that
to.
tooth lineup is the
Sir,
best
you're
he
from
could
Shreveport,
do.
Louisiana. You could never have access to the care I've had access to. Please stop.
I'm
Please,
looking
you're
at your
embarrassing yourself.
I'm looking at your picket fence teeth. That's the best he could do, and you bragging on it.
I've never had any work done on my teeth. I don't
Clearly,
know
you
what the
haven't
fuck-
had any.
And deal with
Sir,
it, nigga.
I have
That's
had-
my yes. You have clearly you've had none.
Okay, let me explain this to you. I have had access to the best doctors in the world. If I needed any sort of care or procedure, I would have had it done and it would have been paid for.
Okay.
You're a
well,
ridiculous individual to say these nonsensical things.
And yet
then
you
you're
call me as
intelligent of some
often
sort.
as you
So
can.
this is some sort of performance that you're doing right now to try to make your audience think
and
that I'm
yet
some
you
sort of
call me as
degenerate.
often as you can, and you've given me
No,
your phone
I
number
literally,
twice.
sir, I can count on my hand the amount of times I've called you. You're a liar. Please stop
Okay.
saying that.
Well, here's what I need for you to do. I need for you to go
And
ahead
also, you
I need
stole
you to
my
call.
phone number.
I need to
and
call. I need you
sent
to
me
call
text
your
messages,
dentist
and
emergency
you're-
line and see if he's got
No,
availability
I'm not
this
going to
weekend.
do that.
That's what I need
There's
you to
nothing
do.
wrong with my teeth.
I
You're
need
psychotic.
I need you to do that. Okay.
No,
Now
you're out. This
go-
is what you're doing. You're negging. You're
Get off my phone!
Yeah, she says she hasn't had any work done on her teeth. I'm like, okay, I can tell you haven't. I can tell you haven't had any work done. Hell yeah, her dentist probably saw her showing them, oh nigga, I give up. He went out as soon as he saw her come up, he puts up the sign, going out of business. No. They have her teeth look like piano keys. Hell no. And have his teeth looks like a pack of Oreos. You ever seen a nigga you could reach through their teeth and grab their tongue without them opening their mouth? Hell yeah. Yeah, don't say your dentist's name. I know his dental assistant got plenty of time on her damn hands. They ain't doing no work up in there. You ever seen a dentist's office was at a tire shop? What? Hell yeah, her dentist work out the back of Goodyear. And that nigga's back there doing alignments. I'm talking about car alignments. That nigga's back there doing alignments. Y'all know that tire shop got the barbecue grill next to it. And Roscoe's Tire Shop and Barbecue. Yeah, her dentist is in the back of that. He doesn't have like a regular dentist chair. This nigga's got like one of them old chairs you had from when you was in third grade. It's like your third grade desk. Is that. Is that. No, he doesn't have dental pliers. He's got the damn pliers from Harbor Freight.
Auntie, chill!
Yeah, he's got the pliers from Harbor Freight. Y'all know when the nigga comes slow walking Usually you go to the dentist, he's quick walking. This nigga slow walking like he don't give a damn. He ain't washed the pliers off or nothing. It's just he just coming straight for your mouth. That'd be $55. So what was that? I do extractions for $55. He give you one little old squirt of Novocaine, and then just get to juking. He gave you one little old squirt of Novocaine to deaden the pain, and then just get straight to juking. You're like, hey, that hurts. He's like, yeah, you can take it. And y'all know usually Jen's like, oh, was that discomfort? Here, let me give you some more. This nigga like, I only got 3 shots left, and there's 4 of y'all coming up here today, so I can't be giving all of it to one person. Yeah, no wonder she got time to call up on a Friday. Hell yeah, you call that nigga back because you're having discomfort, the damn thing goes straight to voicemail or the number you have dialed is no longer in service. You're like, oh hell. You always got to go to his office. He still got a landline phone. What? You worrying about men out here. Well, men in their 40s. I'm like, okay, what about chicks in their 30s while she's sitting there with no children? You need to be worrying about that. Don't worry about what the men over here doing. You need to worry about them powdered eggs. You need to worry about them powdered eggs is what you need to be worrying about. You need to worry about those. You sitting up telling yourself you can just go adopt some kids. You need to be worried about them damn powdered eggs you got going on there. Figure out who's the dumb nigga supposed to sit up here and take this deal. So can y'all imagine her nagging you? Can you imagine her as your baby mama? I mean, just straight nagging. She's the type of heifer sit up here and leave you 5 voicemails in a row. She just calling and you like, it's one thing you got a chick, she just calls and calls and calls and calls. Chrissy will sit up here and call and call and call, and then she'll call and then you don't hear anything. It's like, yeah, I know she's filling up my voicemail. Voicemail message number 1. Then she calls back again. You don't answer. And, okay, then it's voicemail number 2, and call number 3, number 4, number 5. And she's left 5 messages so she can take up right where she left off with each one. She leaves 5 messages so you can take up right where you left off with each one. Can you imagine battling out with that heifer in child support court? That chick is just showing up for fun. She just filing motions because she bored and sitting up here telling the judge that she's doing it just to mess with you, and the judge be letting her get away with it. Well, you shouldn't do that. That's not cool. It's like, y'all, she run a damn scam over here. Well, I'm going to let her come back in a month. So, yeah, like I say, look, there's a lot of cope going on out there. And it's kind of scary because here's the issue. The issue is not can the women get a man. Every woman in here listening to me right now can get a man. Every woman listening to me in here right now can get a dude laying on top of her. I don't care if she's a size 6 or a size 36. Every single female in here can get some dude out there. I don't know if he has all his teeth or any teeth, but every female in here can get some dude to lay up with her. The real question is, can she get one who will invest in her socially, invest in her professionally, invest in her intellectually? The real issue is, can you get that? The real issue is, can you get that? And that's what's running out today. You have a whole bunch of females sitting up here running their mouths, and a whole bunch of females with a bunch of, complaints about things. But when you were at your prime and the males were most willing to take a deal, did you go after him then? Or did you say, I think I can do better? Why should I accept you at the beginning here? Yeah, you're really into me, but I don't think you're on my level socially. Then she goes off chasing degrees. Oh, you're not on my level socially or economically. And it's like, okay. And then when they get older, they realize there are more men who are making more money than women. And it's like, okay, all she's done is sign up for a bunch of work. She signs up for a bunch of work, but that's all that can be there. And it's like it's grinding into the damn ground. They didn't think it was going to be like this. They didn't think it was going to be like this. The issue is not can you get a man. The issue is can you get a winner?
And deal with it, nigga.
That's the issue. That's what you see in this comment section here on Instagram. The women are not asking for a man. They're asking for a winner. They're not asking to be with a guy. They're asking to be with the guy. They thought that if they went to the same school for advanced education that the guy was going to, that's what it was going to be. And in the meantime, they met the guy. They were football players. They were entertainers. They were self-employed. They were swagalicious. So they've met the guy 7 or 8 times. Now they're going after the guy that they never would have given the time of day to when they were 22, 24 years old. They're just hoping that he's been sitting on the sideline, desperate and destitute all this time, and that hopefully, as her situation has deteriorated, his situation has hopefully socially stagnated to the point that he's still sitting there waiting for her. That's what it's about now. It's about giving you a raw deal. It's about giving you a bad deal. And what I'm letting you all know is we talked about nurses all this time, but it doesn't get any easier for the doctor. She's got standards. She's got what she expected. She's got her preconceived notions of how this is supposed to go and how this was supposed to end. And if what you are showing her and offering her, if that's not what she had in mind at the beginning, she's telling you no. She's holding out for that. And that's where it gets cutthroat, because the thing is, okay, who are the guys that these chicks are talking to? Because here's the issue. The issue is that while she is like, I can't date anybody who is below me, the doctor at the hospital, he's willing to marry he's willing to take up a relationship with anything from a CNA to a CRNA. As far as he's concerned, you are both on the same level. There's the issue. As far as the men y'all are trying to talk to, the high-powered lawyers, not the little struggle nigga, the 7-figure men that all you females are trying to talk to, he makes no distinction between a CNA and a CRNA. You're all equal. He doesn't get extra points because he's married another doctor or another lawyer or another professor. You get extra points if you can marry him. He doesn't get anything for marrying you. That's not something that other people pat him on the back for and applaud him. You're not you don't make him a power couple. Furthermore, he's not looking to be a power couple. He's looking to be a power broker. That's the issue. So while we've been doing a lot of talking about the nurses and we've been doing a lot of talking about, the different professions and things, we've been talking about that. But what's really been missing is a conversation about, man, it's done falling off. At the professional level is going downhill. You know why? Because these women don't want an awkward dude. They're all looking for Mr. 6'4" and 7 figures. So the 6'6" are out the window, y'all. In reality, the 6'6" are out the window, man. It really is. It's out the window. Forget the 6'6". We're really dealing with like the 4'7".
What? Damn!
I mean, truth be told. So the 6'6" are out the window, man. You're in a whole different damn landscape. Whole different landscape. These chicks are not looking for a guy like that. If hypergamy holds true, then that means they're looking for something above them. Okay, that means if she's a female doctor, she's screwed. Because she is unwilling to take a man who makes less than her because she's trying to think about now she's thinking about how to try to protect her assets. There's the real issue. You know why? Because women know what they would do. So females are terrified of taking a guy who makes less than her, especially if she's a professional. She's like, oh hell, this nigga can leave me and take what I got. Yeah, it's kind of hard to get smart and slick at the lip with somebody who, if you divorce them, they get chipped off. If you divorce them, that's a windfall for them. Yeah, it's real. What's she going to threaten him with? I'm not happy. I'm going to go ahead and divorce. And he's like, okay, well, I'll keep the house. I make less money than you, so I'll keep the house. See, there's the difference. A man will leave a house. Men will leave the house. Men will leave the car. Man, if females have a sexual fixation with buying a house, if she gets a house, she'll kill you in that damn thing before she gives it up. She'll sit there and have the lawyers fighting in court for the next 8 damn years trying to figure out how to get you out from under that house. She's not going to just sacrifice that. She's like, oh no, that's what I came here for. There's no way in the world I'm going to let him have my house. So she will spend $500,000 to try to keep control of a $400,000 house. Men are not going to do that. Men are not going to do that. So for women, it would be much worse. So this is why the females are having conniptions here. There's plenty of guys out there. Do you realize how many fellas these women had to turn down? Do y'all understand that? How many of these women had to turn these guys down? I mean, that's the real issue. How many guys did they turn down? This chick here is just like, how many fellas did you say no to? How many is she saying no to daily? Yes, and the fellas are like, okay, hold on a second. You have the option of saying no? So yes, I mean, we're talking about chicks with, just ain't nothing happening, and just, I know my word, I'm gonna say no to it. So yeah, that's literally what you have. So no, they're not holding out for better. They're just holding out to hold out. I'm just the guy reporting the news. That just in case you thought the issue stopped at whether or not, they were nurses or whatever. Man, I'm talking about it's barren out here. Because now they're all fighting for the same group of fellas, and then they're doing it older. They're not even doing it in their primes anymore. They're doing it older. So they're really just they're at their job holding out for the Russell Wilson. Who's the Russell Wilson of your job? And then see if we can go ahead and grab him and make him obligated. I mean, that's a hell of a spot to be in. Let's just go ahead and see if we can get him obligated. The fellas at the top ain't looking to lose. 49 years old. Jersey girl, passport ready. Fellas, line up. Line forms to the left. Line forms to the left. MLS, Ghanaian, 5'4", 27, no kids. Okay, international. If you thought this was just limited to the U.S., it's international. My name is Yannick. RN 34, 5'6", no kids. Would love to be blessed with at least one. Doctor Amazing. Doctor of Nursing Practice, board certified family nurse practitioner, 38, 5'5", Illinois, Chicago, or some of the outskirts. Yeah, and what I can say here is, ma'am, that 55-year-old dude that you've been saying, no thanks, he makes me feel old. Yeah, you might want to call him back. Okay, 41 years old. Never married, no kids. Looking for religious requirements. Okay. Administrative associate. Okay. 40, 5'3", grown daughter. All right, let me go ahead and burst your bubbles on this one here, ladies. It doesn't matter if your kids are grown or not. You know why? Let me explain this right now to all the chicks out there who told themselves that, wait, but the kids are grown. It doesn't matter if your, quote, children are grown. They may no longer be in your house, but you will always be their mother.
And deal with it, nigga.
That's the issue. It doesn't matter if they're no longer in the house. You didn't stop being a mom just because they're not in the house. That's for the ones who aren't in the house, but you didn't stop being a mom because of that. Those of you who are married with children, you still having issues with them after they've left the home. So the fact that your kids are not still living in the house with you, tell me, how exactly does that alleviate? What is that alleviating you from exactly? You stop being a parent? What they get into and do is stop being an issue? No, that's not the way that works. So I can keep going, y'all. The list is going on here. And this is true. This is terrible. These chicks talking about the girls are fine. Okay, well, ma'am, I mean, alrighty then. I mean, all right. Hi, I'm Cash, 34, Trauma ER, Dallas. Never married, no children, country gal, 5'2". (5'2". Cheetah print. Folks, cheetah print. Okay. I'm just going to leave that there. I'm just going to leave that there and just leave that alone. Let me go ahead and jump over here on Zoom right quick. All right, we got Elijah over here on Zoom. Elijah, what's on your mind?
Hey, peace, big brother. All right, brother. Excellent broadcast, big brother. I had to call in. I had to, because you just, and I won't be long tonight, but for my education and for the audience, I have been hearing this, when a woman has a child, and you just nailed it, but I want you to further expand so I can know how going forward. You just nailed it. A woman would say, well, my child is grown, so that's a long time ago. And you just said it. You don't stop. That doesn't mean anything. You don't stop being their mother. Can you please just further expand on what I possibly be thinking, but I might be wrong?
Okay, Elijah, well, for that single mom you've been looking to commit to here for a while, the real issue is that whether or not they have children in the home. I have to clear up these misconceptions because a lot of people fall prey to logical fallacies. Back in the day, the logical fallacy that people fell prey to, specifically because they were trying to find loopholes in things and weren't thinking logically, was they used to say, well, a single mom is a chick who got pregnant by a guy she wasn't married to. To which I told you all, no, I held strong on that. And now the entire red pill, it took them a decade and a half to finally accept what I said. But now they all say the same thing. You are a single mom if you are an unmarried woman with children. It doesn't matter if you used to be married or not. If the woman standing in front, it doesn't matter if you're widowed or not. The woman standing in front of me today is a single mom, regardless of the circumstances. And the reason for this is because It doesn't matter how you became a woman with no man and children, that the fact that you may have once been married or were widowed doesn't change the circumstances under which I will have to deal with you.
Right.
So it doesn't matter how you became a woman with no man with those children. That doesn't change the circumstances I'm under with you. The circumstances are exactly identical. I was just the first person who ever told folks, let's stop playing games with this. And when it comes to children, it means the same thing here. That woman wanted to be a mother, not a wife. And if you think that that priority is going to disappear simply because you showed up, you're dumber than you look. So the bottom line is that no, if she's got children grown, she's still a mom. That doesn't change the fact that she's a mom, period. And she's never going to stop being that. When those kids, when she was younger, going back and forth with her baby daddy, when that nigga called, she answered. Okay, Elijah, when her children call, she's going to answer.
Yes, sir.
If the daughter gets pregnant, if the son get on drugs, she's going to answer when he calls. No ifs, ands, or buts. She's going to answer.
I got one rhetorical question. I have to ask it. Does it matter? All right, I believe I know the answer, but I want to hear it from you, big brother, because you're the authority. Does it matter if if the mother was a teenage mom or not?
No, it doesn't matter. None of those matter. Did she give birth is the only thing that matters.
There you go. Okay.
And to be totally honest with you, in some cases that doesn't matter either. Sometimes it doesn't matter if she gave birth or not. If she's adopted the kids, somebody in the family was a crackhead and she wound up with custody of them or whatever. You know, it depends on whether or not she identifies as a mother first and foremost. If she does, you're a goner. What I'm saying is that she is going to expect that her motherhood takes priority over everything. And if you enter a situation with her, she's going to expect you to fall in line with that. That's what she's going to expect.
And well, now let me ask you this question. Years have gone by, years have gone by, the child is older and everything like that. But, everything is straight. She only just had one child, but she demands for you to marry her. What do you do there?
I mean, look, it's up to a man whatever he wants to do in those circumstances.
Right.
He just needs to be aware of what he's dealing with. You are walking into an already pre-made family, period, with all the expectations that come from that. So when the holidays come around, the bottom line is that let's say the kids are grown, okay? What you are not willing to accept is that they have now formed 2 or 3 decades of rituals, of traditions that you were not a part of.
Of course.
So if their thing is going to grandmama's house on Thanksgiving, that ain't gonna stop just because you showed up.
Of course.
So do you see what I mean? You're not setting any agenda. You're along for the ride. And if you attempt to disrupt that, everybody in this pre-made family turns against you. They're not going to say mom is right, because mom's not going to do that. They're going to turn against you. Remember, that was her support system before you came along.
Of course.
So grandmom and the rest of them whatnot, when she decided to become a single mom or whatever happened, those are the folks who had to patch her up in between. So no, her loyalty is to them first and foremost. You're just the dude. You're just a dude. And her job is to convince you that that's special or whatever. No, this is the program. And the bottom line is to get you to acquiesce and go along with that program. And then you look like the whip simp you are on social media. But that's what the game is. You're entering an already pre-made situation. Now, whether or not you do a Russell Wilson and knuckle under is a different matter. But don't sit up here and lie to me and say that's not what it is. Yes, it is. That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. And the real question is, I don't see what benefits she could provide or anybody could provide for you that would be worth that level of
humiliation.
Well, I mean, humiliation is one word for it. I should say extension is another. Because you are extending yourself in ways that I don't really think you were thinking this was going to be. I don't think you were in high school saying, I want to be in this type of situation. And that's why I say a man's really got to be defeated to sign up for that. Because when you were a kid in high school and describing the situation you wanted to be in, this wasn't it. This wasn't what you said you wanted.
Big brother, to add to what you just said, though, big brother, how did we get to this point? Because when you're looking at, when you're talking about these female doctors, right? Well, I'm just going to use the term black professional. the issue has come in a lot of women who don't have the baby mama, baby daddy drama, the children drama, I'll just say it like that. They're not available. And then the single mothers out there, they are readily available and everything like that. And then now you have to choose between either waiting for something that may never ever come or taking the program of this single mom, because I see a lot of guys having to do that just to save them from not going home, going to bed tonight alone. How does that work?
That's just all the more reason why a man needs to have options to prevent yourself from being put into that dilemma. Because the bottom line is that women are smart and they're savvy and they look for guys who are compromised.
Right.
They look for a fellow who does. They look at him. They can tell whether or not you're the kind of guy who gets women or whether or not you're the kind of guy who doesn't. And then they just say, okay, this is how much pressure I can apply to you and this is how much I can. Fellas who have no problem getting female access, women go ahead and give him what he wants because she knows he doesn't have to say yes. Fellas who they know who don't get it like that, they tax you. They tax you, and by taxing, I mean they make a bunch of demands. You have to give up a bunch of things up front. You have to give up stuff up front from the very beginning. And that's her taxing you, which is her letting you know that she's okay. She can take you or leave you.
Right.
And that's you getting taxed for it. So when you're entering in situations like this where you have to extend yourself from day one, you're walking in the door being extended. That's a bad deal for a man. That's a bad deal for a man. And it's only the most beaten, whipped who sit up here and sign up for that. And that's why the women go around bragging, got me a sucker, but you don't see the suckers going around bragging that they got her. With the sole exception of Russell Wilson, and he's become an international laughing stock. So it's just, he has become synonymous with sucker and simp.
But big brother, listen, did you call it or did you call it? That man retired a few months ago. We saw the writing on the wall. You called it. He was going to have to retire soon because he couldn't take to his respect by him marrying that woman, Ciara. His respect level went completely down. All right. And his play
he stopped
went down,
focusing on the game and started focusing on her.
And her son.
That's why they are parallel. You saw him become world's biggest simp-ass stepdaddy, and he became the world's worst quarterback. So
yes.
That was what happened to him. That was what happened. And nobody can talk about his height or anything else. His height was not an issue when he won the Super Bowl. Nobody was saying nothing then. No, he stopped focusing on the game and started focusing on her. And the result was inevitable. So a career that should have ended with at least another couple of Super Bowls instead just crashed and burned. And the bottom line is that all the teams that he used to be on, all of them are going to be in the mix for the Super Bowl next year.
Of course.
All of them are going to be in the mix. That's the crazy part about it. Yeah, all of them will be in the mix now that he's no longer blocking the way.
Of course, big brother. Hey, brother, I ain't going to hold you. Look, brother, thank you so much because you cleared up a lot of misconceptions and everything like that. And now,
all right, thank you very much. Okay. Yeah, y'all, you got to stay focused on your game. You got to stay focused on it. As men in particular, and once you start getting desperate, it's over. The females are looking for they're looking for the low-hanging fruit. You talk about men with low-hanging fruit. They're looking for low-hanging fruit. They're looking for the guys who are desperate. They're looking for the guys who are desperate. They're looking for the guys who are looking to just make a deal. They're looking for the guys who are looking to sell their souls that you've been sitting around all this time. RN, age 30, 5'9", one daughter, Jamaican, side chick application.
And deal with it, nigga.
Bars. We got bars. Yeah, baby. RN, 35, one daughter. Okay, side chick application. Please, like y'all say at the doctor's office, sit over here and go fill this out. Sit over here and fill this out. Yes, a nigga can see you when he come through. You know, like they do back in Jamaica. Actually, they'll come see you more frequently over here. He'll see you when he come through. And you should be okay with that. How the hell is it the females who, when she wasn't married, she was okay doing this was fine, and she meets you and tells you what she can't do anymore? Okay. Age 34, 33, 5'4", location Los Angeles. Okay, yeah. All right, there you go. The single moms down here at the bottom, y'all. Let me show that right quick. Yeah, let me let you know. Okay, yeah, fellas, she got the kid. She's doing the Ciara thing with the kid. She's hugging the damn elephant trunk. Oh boy, Anne-Marie Wiley. This is Anne-Marie Wiley and Ciara in one. Yes, she's going to be expecting you to take care of this. Her beach bum lifestyle and stuff. Yes, she's going to be expecting you to walk in from day one to take care of this. And what I'm saying is, you know what? I think you would make a lovely side chick. I think you would fit in and plug in just good for a side chick. You sure would. Because that's the way, that's what you're good for. Clinical nurse educator, age 50. Oh, baby, you come side chick certified already. You better not even try to argue. And you in Atlanta? Okay, take this side chick application, shut the hell up. Take this side chick application and shut the hell up. And if we would be honest, that's what it would be. It would be that right there. It's like, okay, let's deal with you on the level that you're at. This is something that can actually be maintained. No, I want a man I can suck and leech the blood dry. It's okay. Baby, 50 years old. What the hell? Okay, if a nigga is 70, you a catch. She's 50, 5'1". Okay, if that nigga is 70, you're a catch. You are a catch at 70. And take a look at this one here. Angry as hell, big jaw. So, okay. The big jaw chicks are all angry. Baby, this is a chick who failed at the side chick situation. And yeah, okay. Yeah, she's talking about what the men want. Meanwhile, she's dragging a bunch of kids. So somebody needs to tell the sloppy chicks, just shut up. You're clogging up conversations. 27-year-old registered nurse in Nigeria, no kids, single and ready to mingle. All right. Okay. The veterinarians, all right. I don't get it. ICU nurse, 28 years old, single, no kids. All right, just what's happening there that they're not interested? What's happening if they're not? So all I'm saying here is that, yes, there's going to be a bunch of chicks out here with medical credentials. They in the hospital, I'm talking about getting run over, not just run through. And then they're going to be looking to see who's the most convenient jackass that they can get a hold of and see if they can get him to pick up the pieces and try to sell him. It's like in the stock market. They're looking for the greater fool. They're looking for the greater fool. Whoever's the guy who's just been sitting on the sidelines forever, and whether or not they can go ahead and get away with that. Whoever's the greater fool. Let's see if we can get him. And the problem is there's only a few of those left. So, yeah, man, they're in their 40s and 50s, and eventually they're going to have to settle for the guy who, he's retired with some kind of benefits package, and he ain't got no fight left in him. That nigga just gonna take it. Just whatever she's offering. He's like, okay, well, screw it. And now this is something that you guys haven't talked about. Why is it that these dudes keep walking off into this meat grinder? Why is it these fellas keep walking off into this meat grinder? And I gotta tell y'all, a bunch of these guys are just so beaten down and dilapidated and lonely. They're just so hopelessly lonely that they would rather have a chick for a few years, even if he got to give up half of everything he got to keep her nailed down for a few years. If that's what it costs, he's like, screw it. There's a bunch of guys that they're just that beaten down and just that defeated. If he can have her for just a few years, okay. Well, she can take half. It solves the problem for a few years because right now he's not getting anything. Right now he's not getting nothing. So that's really where it's at. We got a lot of that going on. And they'll be out there fighting for that. But yeah, man, they're in the medical profession. They can go get their degrees. They can go ahead and talk about that stuff. And this is where you're really going to be at. This is really where you're going to be at. You're going to be here. Just in case you thought this was just a nurse issue, just in case you thought it was that. So, ladies, you don't have to like it. It's got nothing to do with liking it here. But the majority of you, whether you choose to or not, you will be taking a side chick position. It doesn't matter what you want. It doesn't matter what you want. Big Maish, you gonna get a side chick position no matter what happens. You will get your side chick position. You have no choice in the matter. The only question is gonna be whether or not you take it on your own or whether you take it because the fella's just like, look here, heifer, I don't fool with you like that. So the question is not, will you take a side chick position? The question is, under what circumstances will you take it? Under what circumstances will you be taking it? That's the only real question. You can take it up front or you can take it when, on the slick, which is what a lot of folks do. Okay. He's just like, hey, don't ask me no questions. Okay. And for the fellas out there, fellas, I understand. Get your weight up, get your stuff together here, man. Continue to elevate, continue to increase your value for one reason only, so that you don't have to tolerate anything you don't want to. That you actually have desirable options and you don't have to tolerate anything you don't want to. Because here's the last thing about these. These chicks they are insatiable. They're insatiable. You can't make them happy. Their whole goal is to get you to dump everything you got and obligate yourself, but you won't be able to make them happy. You're not going to be able to make them happy. You're not going to be able to please them. They're constantly going to be talking about how great they are and looking for your replacement. You don't have that option. It won't work. That's not what it is. You have a bunch of would-be Britney runners out here, and your job is just to help supplement what they're doing and be their hood ornament. And I just want you to be in a position where if the other shoe does drop, you don't have to sit there and fall up under it. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. But you can only do that when you have options. You can't pretend to have that. So don't slack, man. Don't slack. Get yourself together. Get your money together. Make sure that you're working out. Make sure that you are keeping yourself smart. Make sure you're keeping yourself capable. Make sure you're doing all of that, man. Make sure you're doing all of that so that you have options. And so that when you get pressed by them, because it's going to happen, you don't feel like you gotta knuckle under and it's like, damn, because it's the fellas who've been hanging out here with no options. Those are the ones who end up like, okay, well, screw it. Let me just take something. And I'm just showing you, you got doctors out there, are female doctors out here of every shade and stripe across the country. This isn't one isolated area. This is across the country. And this is what it is. This is what it is this right here. Not just one or two places. This is what you're running into. And so, yes, I know if you meet them on the street and stuff, they're going to be turning their nose up. Okay, but they're letting you know it's like, yeah, it's not because they're not looking. It's because they think they're going to get the guy. But eventually, reality is going to sink in and they're just going to be like, okay, what can I get? You get the little oddball, you get the little quirky fella, you get the little mama's boy, you get the little weirdo, you get those. Oh yeah, and you get the fella who is 20 years older than you and that whatnot. You get that. You get that. That's what you end up with. You end up with that. And this is just for the female doctors. This is just for the female doctors. All the other fields are not doing any better. It's not like they're doing any better about that. It's not like they were doing any better. Everywhere you're going out here, man, this is what they're ending up with. And that's, once again, to the fellas, remember, that's the reason for having your value together. The reason for having your value together is so that, by the way, they have something to lose there. So they turned up their noses. I just want y'all to know it's not getting any better over there. They're just sitting at the hospital boo-hooing and, sipping cheap wine, dreaming about some man taking them somewhere and Calgon take me away and whatnot. And they're all dreaming about Idris Elba. They're all out there dreaming about Idris Elba. That old Big Driss is going to come and take them all away somewhere. They're all dreaming about that. That's what it ends up being. And I just wanted to run down this thing here, let you all know, in the real world, this is the reality right here. Yeah, the so-called male nurses and doctors and whatnot, yeah, this is the reality here. This is. This is where what they're living. And so I implore all the fellas out there and whatnot, don't be afraid to shoot your shot. They're probably going to tell you no, to which I'll tell them, you know what, ma'am, I hear you. However, while you're waiting for Prince Charming to show up, while you're waiting for him to run out of options and show up, why don't you keep my number, because I'm actually available.
And deal with it, nigga.
Yeah, while you're sitting there flailing around your medical degree, just, by the way, while you're waiting for Prince Charming to show up and slide in your DMs, in the meantime, I'm actually available. So that's what I would tell you fellas there. Odds are in your favor, at least somewhere along the line. We're going to go ahead and wrap things up here tonight. Let me see. Where was I here? There's one other thing I wanted to get to here also. In the meantime, I want to thank everyone who has contributed to support tonight's program on PayPal, Super Chat, Venmo. Shout out to my man, Mansa Musa. Oh, we hadn't seen Mansa Musa around these parts in a little bit here. Thank you for checking in, brother. We appreciate that. Also here to Jay Grizzly, John White, Ainsley Ames, Herbal Starburst, everybody else here who's contributed to tonight's program on PayPal, Super Chat, Venmo. If you are new here to the business, welcome to the program that all your favorite YouTubers love to hate watch. So click that subscribe button and notification button. Join us each and every time that we're here. If you haven't been to the business on Patreon, the link is in the description. We do it every Saturday, 12 noon Central Time. You are more than welcome to join us there. I want to thank all of you for tuning in to tonight's program. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and sharing. I hope it's been educational. This concludes this broadcast of The Business. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, Mr. Jason Black. And until next time, my brothers and sisters from around the world, remember, handle your business, or the business will